And we're back. Hold on, now I give you guys a real intro. All right. So what's up? What's up? What's up? All right. I have exactly an hour and a half, and then I got to get Phoenix. So let me just hit you guys over here so I can see you guys. Groundhog Day. What's up, everyone? All right. Give me 1 second. I just got to set everything up. I don't know why I didn't do that while we were on suspension. All right. I want everyone to know that I'm 100% convinced that nobody knows anything anymore. That's the point I'm at. I can't even comprehend what's going on with the police lately. So let me start with Athena Strand in case you guys don't know. Well, first let me say hi to everyone. What's up, everyone? Members, Patreons, subs, haters, lurkers, everyone in between. My name is Perplexed, aka Laura. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Make sure if you like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up because it's the only way I'm getting in the algorithm. Thank you, Alexis. That is the only way I'm getting in the algorithm. If you would like to donate to this stream, you can donate through Super Chat, as Alexis did, or you can donate through Cash App, PayPal, and I'll show you where to do that. Oh, hold on. Okay. Now, so thank you, Alexis. Hey, K-Rox. All right. So, choo choo, chugga chugga, choo choo. And if you want to get on Super Chat train, you could join Alexis. I'm a little out of it today. I've been doing candles for like 5 days straight. All right. So first I want to start with Athena Strand. To all the haters that came after me, how dare I talk about a lawsuit? I don't know what I'm talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Athena Strand was taken on November 30th. We are now less than 3 weeks away. Dad has now filed a lawsuit. So all the haters that ran their mouth, how dare I talk about a lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. And it's now that less than 3 weeks after she was taken, Dad's filing. So, gee, am I psychic? How did I know that was going to happen? Because that's what happens in murders like that, or kidnappings, or whatever. Now, what I didn't know until today, which was vile, that he tried to kill her by breaking her neck and it didn't work. Really? Why would you try to break a little girl's neck? It really took me by like shock that I had to hear that. That was just gross. Hey, Cookies. That was just gross. Like, why would you try to break a little girl's neck? So that didn't work. So we went and killed her, I think strangled her. All because he was afraid that she was going to tell her dad. Like, oh my God, now how do you feel? So that case will not go anywhere. I know. Well, you don't think so? Oh, I do. I think the dad's going to walk away real money. Big money. I really do. I don't see why you think that case wouldn't go anywhere. I think it's going big places. Try to put her out of her misery because he hit her. Right, exactly. He's a liar, he's a monster. I agree. He's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. FedEx will settle. And I hope they change their policies by now because dad's he's going hard. Nope, I'm here locally. Panther, I disagree. I think they're gonna go he's gonna dad's gonna I mean, one thing I'm shocked that he's only going for $1,000,000. Why only $1,000,000? I'd be going for like 20,000,000. I mean, my kid would be worth like 20,000,000. Doesn't matter. I don't know if he had a record or not, but either way, it doesn't even matter if he had a record. He FedEx hired well, then again, no, because he had some stuff. You are intelligent, have an understandable line of reasoning and logical thought processing. That is not psychic. It is the result of a healthy, adaptive, flexible brain. Just saying. Annette, I think you're my favorite sub today. Thank you for that. Because many haters would disagree with you. Kids are priceless, Steve. I agree with that too. Okay. But even without a record, I mean, wouldn't you still I thought FedEx did, like, psychological testing and all different sorts of tests. I mean, wouldn't they look up social media? I don't know. And I how long does anyone know how long he was working there? Hey, Stone Gator. That's what I'm saying. Go for 20,000,000. I don't know why he would only go for 1,000,000. So that's just a real quick I wanted to touch on that. Second thing I wanna touch on, I owe a couple of people an apology about Kylie Rodney. According to the police, that case is still open. It's active, which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I saw the email myself. I have no idea how that could possibly be open when they already gave out the FIOA request. They gave out a lot of stuff. And now all of a sudden it's open again? What is it open for? That's what nobody seems to be able to get an answer on. Like what makes it open? Is it open because you think someone murdered her or is it open because there was a problem with the car? Why all of a sudden is it open again? Cuz I could have sworn they closed it a while ago. So I owe your main girl an apology and a couple of other people an apology because I fought with them saying it was closed, and I guess it's not closed. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. So moving on quickly, um, let's get into the Idaho 4. I am dumbfounded at all the experts that are believing the police. I have never seen a more incompetent police force than what I'm looking at. And maybe I have let's be fair. Maybe I have built up anger because I saw this go down like this and Making a Murderer, and I followed that case like it was like the case was my child. I mean, we were so invested in that case. Unlike anything most of you have ever seen on YouTube, we were so invested in it. And I'm thinking I'm thinking that I'm getting so mad like this with this police department because they remind me of what happened with Making a Murderer and Kathleen Zellner came on the case. Let's look at the facts, okay? The facts are they know nothing. Right after the murders happened, their cocky egos turned around and said, the killer left so much evidence and the killer left so much this and he was sloppy and he was this and we're going to get him in 2 days. It's been over a month. They got nothing. The best thing they have is this white car in a college town that they have no idea if it's even related or not. Okay? They found a car speeding in the area. That's all they got. Now, to clear up some facts versus rumor, we'll start with the white car. That white car was not in front of the house. That's not where they got the white car from. They made it clear that the white car on the video in front of the house was not related to this case at all. Okay? So I had a lot of comments from people coming at me saying how I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I should learn the facts of the case. And that white car they got because it was sitting in front of the in the parking lot. No, it wasn't. The facts are this this car came from surveillance video 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later from a gas station. That's where it came from. That's the only video they have. And the only evidence they have of this car is speeding in an area, in a college town. Come on, guys. But remember, they said they have so much information. They have so many answers. So why are you worried about a car from exactly, Camille? Why are you worried about a car from a surveillance video? Okay. That's what your whole case is resting on? They said that I know, I heard that, Diane. They said that they don't wanna put out a reward, basically because of their own egos. They don't wanna put out a reward, um, according to police officers what police officer's wife? Yeah, 103 pieces of evidence is nothing. I agree with that. What police officer's wife? They have 2 suspects, not Greek or the Stonegater, where are you getting that info? Exactly, Nani. Exactly. They did not even think to go look at the video from local businesses for weeks. To the point that some of the businesses, like the vape store, said that they don't even have anything. Like, it's already been erased. That's how long it took. Why did it take them so long? What cops in their right mind wouldn't do that, number 1? Why wouldn't you go immediately and find out if any local businesses have any footage? Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Stonegater, where is it? Where did you hear it? Who? She? Okay, a Moscow police officer's wife called into another channel just a while ago. Somehow I find that hard to believe. Call me crazy, but a cop's wife is not allowed to do that. So could it be? It could be. Do I believe it? No. Do I really believe it was some Moscow cop's wife? No, I don't. Could I be wrong? I could be, but I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. And I'm not saying T something did anything wrong. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm not saying like he set it up, but I'm not buying it. A cop's wife would not do that. Hey, Amanda. A cop's wife would not do that. Or a cop who loves her husband would not do that. That sounds like a troll to me. But I'll listen to it. I mean, I have no problem listening to it, but yeah, I don't believe it. Exactly, Kendra. I call bullshit too. I knew you would say that, but you to hear it. It's very telling. If it's very telling, that tells me it's full of shit. But I'll pull it up. Hold on. What's his name? I thought I had sub to him, but I guess not. What's his name? T what? Hold on, I gotta let the dog in. What is he gonna do? Move. Crystal, is that the video? Nope. Crystal, whatever you just posted didn't post. The 11 hour? He was on for 11 hours? What's his name? T-Rev. You subscribe and he liked, he referred his chat to your channel. To mine? For real? All right. All right, can you get me like an exact? Does he? I was in his chat yesterday. I didn't even know he knew who I was. Well, thank you, T-Rev. Can someone get me an exact timestamp? True is always on when I wake up on Idaho 4 when no one else is live. No, Stone Gator had turned me on to him yesterday. The field over the way is Banfield, and who's the one reporting on it? Posts so many vids a day. I remember he said perplexed and how. Really? That was nice. I didn't even know he knew who I was. That's what I need to do. I have a call-in number. So while we're waiting for the timestamp, let me just pop on something else that I was going to say. So Heels in the Air had done a video where now Chris McDouchebag, knows who is driving the white Elantra. Really, Chris? Please give me another reason to not have any faith in the police. Chris McDonough thinks he solved this case. Okay, Chris. 11:05. Thank you, dear. All right. Hey, I give credit to any man that could go live for 12 hours. Whew. There's a new video out. The reporter got more confirmation on the white Elantra at the gas station.
They're really working hard, really hard, like 14 to 16 hours a day. And a lot of people here I know a lot of people are not talking about it. They're kind of divided, but a lot of people are like setting up their houses, like outside their homes, booby trapping their houses, doing like crazy stuff.
Oh wow.
Gun sales have gone up a lot. I mean, like a lot of people right now, they're packing.
Well, duh.
It's kind of scary. I mean, I'm home with my kids alone. Well, my husband's gone. Am I live? I'm not live, right?
No, yes, you are live.
Oh my God. Well, hi everybody.
Yes,
um,
yes, you are live. You are
oh, okay.
live. I meant to tell
Thank
you
you
that
for
from the jump.
calling.
I meant to tell you
oh,
that from the start. I'm sorry that I didn't even say. I thought you
oh,
knew I
it's
was.
okay. yeah. So,
Okay, here's a dumb question. In order to get the phone number, you would have to know he was live because he says, here's a call-in number. If you would like to call in, go right ahead. Here's the number. So how would she know she wasn't live? Just saying.
But nobody knows where
like
you're
the
at or
pawn
nothing
shop.
like that. We just
Okay,
know that.
good.
I mean, Idaho's a big ass state. They don't know where you're at.
Okay, well, like, we moved. We moved up here because we thought it would be safer after the scream killers and stuff like that. And we've had a lot of stuff in Pocatello happen, so we moved out of there.
Okay.
There was a lot of crime there, so we moved. You know, my parents live up here, so we decided to move. So, we never thought in a million years something like this would happen. But a lot of people think that it's the frat guys.
Yeah.
I really don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
Huh.
no, I don't at all. A lot of people from in town that I've talked to, a lot of people are, there's rumors going around that it's somebody that is traveling that one specific road. If you got my emails, I sent you some emails of 3 more people that were killed and murdered. They were stabbed to death the same way, same kind of knife. We have 1 survivor. They were all killed in their bed. Okay, now there's other things going on. Like they're looking for 22,000 vehicles with that are white cars. There's only 25,000 people here. So
yeah, that's crazy.
So you have.
Yeah, I caught that too today. And I was going to bring that up. I'm glad she brought it up because I forgot. The police said that they have 22,000 I guess registered people to this white Elantra or whatever, 22,000 people to go through. You only have 25,000 in the town. How do you have 22,000 that own a white Elantra? So my guess is they just took every single registration in the entire country of who owns a white or who's registered to a white Elantra. It's the only thing I could think of.
To think not 22,000 people have all the same white car here in town. They're expanding their search a little bit. I mean, I don't even know if I should say that if I'm saying too much, but
no, I seen them going down towards what was it? I had the map pulled up.
Okay, that's another red flag to me. She's saying I'm saying too much. You didn't say anything that's not the common logic. Common logic is there's only so many people there, so they're obviously expanding. That's red flag number 1 for me.
Earlier, they went towards Troy, and then they went down. Is it Kendrick, or am I wrong?
Yeah, but I'm talking about Washington and Oregon.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen. There was 2 other cases that were very similar.
Yeah, and well, there's 3.
And then this would be the 3rd, or this?
No, there's 3 other cases, and then plus these students, that's a total of 7.
The students would be an upgrade, and if it was a serial killer, it'd be an upgrade to 4 at once.
Well, he stabbed 3 others. Well, we don't know if it's the same guy or not. So the FBI, it's good to have the FBI and the higher up. Like we have a lot of higher up people that are in on it. To it's always good. Extra set of eyes is always good. And so everybody is looking into it really good, and it's always good to have an extra pair of eyes to look at things differently. A lot of people are saying these cops are rookies. Not a lot of them were. A couple were. A couple that have joined were rookies. They seen, the scene for the first time. That was traumatic, but, because they were just coming on. But the other ones, no, they're not rookies. They've been on for a long time. They've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, there's been mysterious drownings here. Nobody is talking about, there was a student, teacher murder that happened. Teacher shot the student and then he shot him and killed himself. There's been things going on. It's not as quiet as people make it out to be. And they're saying that guy that.
Okay, but if a teacher shot a student and then shot himself, that has nothing to do with the drowning or the Idaho 4. Like, that's not connected. I grew up in New York City, and just because there's murders every day doesn't mean I know the person. I don't know. It's just red flag number 2, I guess.
Chef guy or whatever, that supposedly he's a radical Islamic jihadist kind of person, Okay, not to mention that the reason why they were even outside there, the frat boys, because so many people think it's Jack B, Jack whatever, I don't know how many Jacks, they've been getting a lot of death threats. Because so many people on the internet think it's them, that these kids have been getting threats. A lot of them are going home. And nobody is stopping them from going home. The police have not stopped them. They're not telling them, well, you got to stay, because, we suspect you or anything. They're letting them go home.
Wow.
And because they're getting death threats. But the police are too. There's a lot of calls of saying, people making anonymous.
Why would the kids be getting death threats? What kids would be getting death threats?
Calls to the frat boys saying that we put, I don't know if I should say this, like a mysterious package has been dropped off and, threats. Things like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And people like Brian Enton wouldn't be covering this. Nobody talks about this. All the people that Brian Enton has spoken to, nobody has mentioned this. Yeah, see, this is where the red flags come. Yeah, but the fraternity is not getting. The fraternity are the ones that spoke up. But yeah, so far I'm not buying her shit.
So, because the whole internet, everybody on the internet thinks that it's them. So there's people that are getting threats, and the police officers are getting a lot of threats, including their families. So
how bad was the scene?
Why would the police officers be getting threats? They're cops. They're cops. Why would a cop get threatened? You track the call and you go arrest the person.
From what you heard.
Well, they wouldn't even let us go down that street. Nobody was even allowed in that area. It was pretty bad. From what I was told, and from the
honestly, I don't think T-Rev is buying her shit either. Just saying.
Expressions of it was bad because we have an 18-year-old daughter, and some of the officers that they have.
Because my personal opinion, if he was really buying her shit, he'd be asking her questions, and he's not asking her anything. He's just listening, and she's not really saying anything. But he's not asking anything, which tells me he's not buying it, and he's just kind of letting her talk.
Have a daughter, that age.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So you could tell it's emotional for a lot of them. It was emotional for a lot of them. It's just like, because it was here, and that's why I think, not being prepped, because, you don't think that something like that in a small town could happen. We weren't expecting that many people to be killed, in in a small town. We've had murders, but not like this. So, they are getting the best of the best here. In Pocatello, now you have FBI headquarters there. They're having them come up, quite a few of them. There's been a lot here.
Like any neighbor, hey Pecan, any person that lives there could be telling this story. Like I'm not buying this. And I'm glad that to hear he really wasn't buying it either.
It is kind of nerve-wracking. Like I'm afraid to be at home alone, but my husband drives by, and he, to make sure I'm okay. But
yeah,
I make sure I have a gun. Everybody here can carry a gun, and that's another thing. Everybody hunts up here. Everybody's like, oh, well, to have a knife like that, you have to be a hunter, and to commit a murder like that, you have to. No. People, they hunt here at young ages. They learn how to shoot at young ages,
So my
and here
thing
you can have open carry. You don't even have to have a permit to carry a gun here.
Yeah, no, that's.
You want my opinion on that, Faraz? What happened to them make them like this? Look at Kylie Rodney. You had someone like Ryan Upchurch with millions of subscribers shouting these people out and making them feel important and making them feel like there's somebody important. And that's why people call in like this. Oh, there's a big murder in my area. Woohoo. I could be famous. Let me call in, not to the biggest creators. Let me call in to the creators that have the biggest numbers, and I'll be someone. Because when I checked in on T-Rev yesterday, he had, I think, like 1,500 people watching, and he was the biggest of everybody at the moment. So people like, ooh, let me call into that. That's why.
That's kind of like Virginia. You don't have to. It's open carry.
Oh, okay. See, so
Yeah,
but see, the only ones that don't are usually the ones with knives, because they're felons. They have a record. And if this guy is carrying a knife because he is a felon, he's going to get caught.
Sounds like somebody who fits that profile's out there already. I won't say no names.
Yeah. So if the person is a felon, that's why he had a knife, and that's why he did it that way. I don't know. That's one thing I don't know. But they have their eyes on a couple of people.
Because let me tell you my honest opinion. From an outsider, forget an insider perspective. From an outsider perspective, and when I say insider, I mean as a creator. If I'm an outsider and I'm looking to call into a show, who am I going to call? I'm going to call an ex-cop named Chris McDonough, who's covering the case, who can, has a voice and is, getting my voice heard by intellectual people. Like, there's certain people that you would automatically call into. If you have a message that you really want out there, you're not going to just go with who's got the biggest numbers at the moment. And that's what these people do. And that's why I'm not buying it.
And I understand why they're not going to say anything. It's because one little thing that messes up, they can easily, like everything will get messed up. The whole case will get messed up.
Is anything, is the person local?
They don't know. They don't know. if he's from here, if he was visiting here, if he just travels through here, they don't know.
Let's see.
So
you're good. Keep
that's
going.
why, yeah. So that's why they're kind of like, they don't want to tell anybody anything yet.
Did they know who passed out in the street? Like who was the one that
It was
passed
the
out?
girl. It was the girl.
Which one? Because there's two
One of
roommates.
the roommates. It was the roommate.
Hello, wasn't that ruled as a lie? Wasn't that ruled as a fake lie that nobody passed out? The cops specifically said that that wasn't true, that nobody passed out in the street. So why is she saying it happened when the cops already said it didn't happen? Someone refresh my memory. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm 99% positive. Thank you, Annette. I didn't want to think I was wrong, but thank you. Yeah, that was ruled out. That's what I thought. I honestly thought it was ruled out. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the cops ruled that out, that never happened. That was a rumor that circulated on the internet and social media, and it wasn't true. Okay. I'm glad, Annette, I'm glad you confirmed that.
I forget which roommate it was, but she saw what was happening. She hyperventilated, went into a panic attack, and she passed out. She fainted. And so I guess then it was her friend that was the one that called.
Yeah.
But at first, they went with, I mean, the ambulance and everything showed up because they thought that, they'd be alive. They thought they were just hurt. It's kind of still like all like blurry,
Right.
The whole thing is just, I don't know. It's really weird. It's the whole thing is really weird how this all happened and how it's affecting other people. Now, some other people are really, really calm about it, but there's a lot of people in town that I've heard that are setting booby traps around their house. They're not letting their kids, travel alone. They're like, oh, even to go to the store, they're like, no, take somebody with you. It doesn't matter how old they are. They're like, no, you should have somebody with you. That kind of thing.
That's
so, but I've heard that people have changed their locks on their doors, things like that. There was even stuff saying about some, like the maintenance guy. Did you hear about him?
Yeah,
He was kind of creepy.
Things. I've heard a few things about him.
Yeah, they took
No, the cops did say it. No way. Someone asked and the cops said no, that was not true. There was nobody passed out. I remember the cop saying that. I believe he was standing in a parking lot when he said it, but he said it never happened. He didn't know why people said that because that wasn't true.
I guess they took pictures in front of his place. Where what's her name was on her shoulders. Yeah. The maintenance guy was supposed to be the guy that actually took care of that house.
I'm trying to read here.
Now, the footprints, there was only one set in the back. But there was also, I don't know if a lot of people have seen it or not. I'm not even online, so I can't even see it right now. But the last.
Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Erin. She contradicted herself there a couple of times. Thank you, Erin.
Did anybody notice the ladder?
Yes.
Yeah. Ricky caught that. So, I mean, when people say, oh, well, they're not doing their job and this and that, yeah. It's like you always got a fresh pair of eyes, And they did the right thing by calling the FBI in because they have Google satellite imaging, that focuses in. And
yeah, but Stoner, she has not given 1 ounce of information. It's like she just wants a friend to talk to. There's nothing she's saying that we don't know already. Like nothing. And I just honestly, I don't even see the point of the phone call. She's not saying anything.
Phones right in on it.
Right.
So they have more info than what they're telling people, and they don't want to say anything because they don't want this person to have any backup or to catch an alibi or anything. They're going to have enough that's going to make it stick, enough evidence to make it stick, so he doesn't walk. They're saying, I've heard people in town saying.
Honestly, Jen, I don't remember that. I don't remember the chief saying the front door was open. I remember him saying that it wasn't, that he never stated it was open. If you could find a clip that showed it was open, I'm more than willing to listen. But no, I don't remember that. But I also don't remember a lot of things like, originally. Only things that really stick out to me, that wasn't something that stuck out. But I do remember him saying it wasn't open.
That it was two people. Now, I don't know. I've asked, but I get told, well, you know better. I can't talk to you about that kind of thing. But it's affecting a lot of people here. People that are,
How far away how far away are you? Would you say you'd be from the? Well, you
only
can
a
give
couple
an
blocks.
estimate. You said 20 blocks?
No, a couple blocks away. I'm not far.
Oh wow! So you could literally walk by there, get video footage, and email it, type shit.
Yeah, I could go by there. I'm not going to be as crazy as that guy. I can go in the middle of the night though, because it gets dark here early, like about between 5 and 5:30. It starts getting dark. I thought about doing it, but I won't go alone. I have to go with one of my friends. I will not go over there alone by myself. Did you see that video? Which was
Pecan, that's what I'm saying. But they're saying in the first press conference, the cop said yes. So that's what I don't know, though. I believe it was November 19th. Yeah, it's not a detail I remember, so I can't say either way. But Pecan's right. It did come out that a neighbor said it, not that Ellie ever said it. But you guys are saying that Ellie said it at the first press conference. I would have to find that because I don't know.
I thought was creepy. Now you're talking. Now I don't believe in the spirit box and all that other stuff, but did you see the news video of that guy, of that news anchor guy that was talking to the one other guy on the thing, and you heard a girl screaming in the background? That was real. That was real.
Oh
He didn't even stop. He didn't even stop. He just kept talking. He heard it. It was right in front of the house.
When?
I'll have to send you that video. It's crazy. I was like, and people were like, well, that was like a spirit manifestation thing. Like it's a spirit thing. It happened.
Oh my God.
In spirit. Yeah. I have to send you the video, but you're going to like trip out when you see it. It's like the news anchor guy, he heard it because everybody on TV heard it.
Where is it at?
Okay, I'll show you. I'm going to look I'm looking on my laptop right now. Hold on. It's crazy. And it's not that Joseph Morris guy. I don't even trust that guy. He's full of it. But this one was like really interesting.
Hey, Pecan, does this Sunny Days sound familiar to you? She was like the biggest kiss ass to JT. The biggest kiss ass to JT.
I'm going to have to look at the answer. I had to prepare like that because I might not tell you that. It's crazy how everybody thinks it's that Jack guy, and they keep going back to that truck video because they said that guy was cleared. I don't know if anybody caught that video. The police said the guy in the hoodie was cleared, and everybody keeps going back to him. See, that's one thing that they can't do. They can't just stay honed in on stuck on one person. That's why they have so many people on this case right now.
Mm,
I know.
that's crazy. I mean, so you said you said your husband works for Moscow, right?
Yes. Yeah,
I
I
know,
didn't even have to say that much.
I know you told me his name,
Yeah,
and
I don't. Yeah.
I did not share that with nobody, and that's
Thank
confidential
you.
completely
Thank
all the
you.
way through.
Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate that.
Oh shit, you're right, Stone. Oh my god, Crystal, happy birthday. Totally forgot. Everybody give purple hearts for Crystal. It's her birthday. Totally forgot.
I did.
Yeah,
You
because
did.
he didn't want me. He saw me listening to your stuff, and he's like, "Don't think about it. Don't call. Don't call." And I'm like, well, I wouldn't say anything that that you told me not to say. You know.
Right,
Not for nothing, but what's T-Rev supposed to do? Call and ask if this is really a wife? I mean, think about it. There's no way he could even verify it. So I don't even get the point of giving his. I could pick up, I could look up any local policeman and be like, yeah, this is my husband. Prove it's not. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to prove that? It's not like he's going to call and say, hey, I spoke to your wife.
right,
Now,
right.
if we were probably talking in private, maybe I could say a little more, but I don't know who's out there that's listening. And
Well, yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I may call you in private just to talk to you and
yeah,
actually.
only if it's in private.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
that
no.
would be
I
great.
may get
And
off
then,
here and give you a phone call, and you could fill me in a little more, but I won't share none of that or tell nobody anything that you've told me in the emails that you've already dropped, especially confidential things that could
hmm
hinder shit.
yeah, the article I'm looking for it now, but it was a news thing, and you could hear the girl scream in the background, and the guy said it was a spirit manifestation, whatever that is. And I don't even believe in none of that stuff, but I was like, wow, I know that reporter had to have heard that. It was so loud, and yeah, I'm gonna have to find the video. It was live. It was a live thing.
Right, right. No, I know, I know. No, everybody's like over 1,000 people listening. No, I'm saying in general, I wouldn't say who she told me who her husband is, first and last name. I wouldn't release that information into the public out of respect for her
Thank
confidentiality
you so
there. I
much.
mean,
And
that's
everybody thought that. Everybody thought that. I was like, well, she's lying. But every time I called, it said the Google subscriber was unavailable. I thought that was weird because I've been trying to call all day. And then I tried again, and I tried using my friend's phone. And so I was just like,
See, but that's the thing, people like this don't call into my show. They never will, because I would be questioning her left and right.
you know, I'll just keep trying because it was busy. There was a lot of times I tried to get through and it was busy, and people thought that I was lying. So I was like, well, now I really have to get through, you know? But I just wanted to let you know that there's a lot of people here that are not feeling okay. Like Cranky, she might feel okay being here. She might, maybe she's not worried, and you know, she's got family, and she's got a lot of people maybe in her home, but there's a lot of people that are not feeling like that, you know?
right, right. Well, damn. I mean, what I wonder. I want to hear that part that where you with the screaming.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm looking for the video. I'm
I could
looking for the video.
I tried to help. I know what it is. They
Does
give
he end up playing in
CPR.
this
I heard
video?
that somewhere. This.
Somebody in the chat said she's trying to talk in code, makes me think her husband's a cop. Oh, you think?
Well,
Yeah.
yo, I mean,
Yeah.
you told me the information. I went and
Yeah. See, the thing is that, anything, I could share a little bit more. I sent you an email today.
I've
I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but if I was her husband, I'd be like, there's 1,000 female creators that you can speak to. Why are you focusing on this one? Why are you focusing on a male? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I would be. I would be a little skeptical if my wife did all this interaction with a guy when there's tons of females that she could be speaking with. Just saying.
I've seen all of them.
Okay. And didn't you think that was kind of interesting?
Yes, I did. Which I seen that earlier too. I seen that a couple weeks ago, believe it or not.
Yeah. See, that's floating around at the.
I've seen that a couple weeks ago on the. Actually, I seen that on the Idaho Tribune.
Really?
On Twitter, yeah.
Oh wow,
Absolutely.
crazy. Yeah. So there's some weird, like really weird stuff going on in time. Like people are looking at each other weird. Like, I mean, when men are around, you know that they get that feeling like it's not me. Don't look at me like that. You know, that kind of thing. Like you can tell that people are just really uneasy about, you know, certain things. Ever since that happened, it's just been weird. Ever since it happened, it's just been really uncomfortable.
When I get off here, well,
now Stone, he normally doesn't get that many people in his live, right? Because I was gonna say, if I had a consistent 1,200 people, 1,300, I'd probably stay live too. Because there's no reason not to, unless he normally gets it, but I don't think he does. I don't think he normally has gotten those kind of views, but I understand why he stayed live. I would have too. I don't know if I would be able to entertain people for 12 hours, but
it's 11 hours and 26 minutes I've been live when I get off here, and because I got to end it before 12 hours for it to actually upload. I'll give you a call and we'll talk off the.
Okay, yeah, I can, and then I want to, yeah, I'll find that video for you, and you let me know if what do you think, if it's true or not? They said it's a spiritual manifestation. I don't know if it's true or not.
I'm gonna go live and do a spirit box in a little bit.
Are you? Yeah, I thought that was interesting that you did that, but there's one that yeah, it's creepy. It was really creepy. Like you could hear the.
Okay, I want you guys to know, okay? I want you guys to know I did a spirit box the other night just to show how fake it is. And I'm going to show you the results. He's been consistently getting over 1,000 in his lives. Yeah, this week. I mean, before this case or before this week, he wasn't. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I would probably stay if I had over 1,000 people in my live and it was staying that way. I'm sure I'd stay live too. That's what I meant.
Girls,
if you go back and listen,
bloody murder.
I don't know if you're subscribed to my channel, go back to my videos and go through I did a whole entire live. My first live with the Idaho case was like a 5-hour spirit box session.
Wow.
And I got so much different things. I was like, which one of the 4 Idaho victims are here with me right now? And I said, Kaylee.
Janice, honey, I am the only creator in all of these communities that do not grow from cases. I'm consistent, but I'm the only one that's never grown from a case. I don't ask me how. It's horrible. It's just horrible. Everyone else grows. I stay exactly stagnant. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, I grow slowly, but pretty much stagnant. All right. Better than this. I just got a notification that Brian Enton went live. So let me pull that up on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Doesn't happen to me.
We're here in Moscow. Not a ton of updates today. Yeah, it is really cold. They've still got the crime scene tape up. Still the security guards guarding the house. No movement here in days. New today, I interviewed police again today. Nothing really significant. They said that they've pretty much got all the surveillance video from the immediate area around the house, and now they're expanding the perimeter of where they're looking for surveillance video. We know that they've looked gas stations, miles and miles away from Moscow. So they continue looking for video. They still say the white Elantra is, the main lead to go on right now. I asked them about the holidays coming up and staffing, and they said they will cycle some people out to get a break around the holidays to sort of refresh people, who obviously have families and need to sort of, take a breather, but that they'll keep the resources high through the holidays, and the investigation won't slow down, they say. I asked about the interview that I got with the manager of the vape shop last night that talked about the stalker with Kaylee, and they, said they're looking into all of that. Still no evidence that we know of, from police of a stalker. The vape shop manager did tell me that he called the tip line, and also police were at his shop just a few days after the murders, looking for surveillance video. So yeah, they do know about that. The lawyer for the Gonsalves family was just on Cuomo in the last hour and said he feels there's still communication breakdowns between the family and police. A few new things I hadn't heard him talk about before. I guess when they had the meeting, the family had the meeting with police a few days ago, police and the prosecutor. He said that one of the officers got emotional, and threatened to walk out on them during the meeting, which I hadn't heard that before. So apparently it got kind of volatile during the meeting. He says they're still not getting a lot of questions answered. You might remember earlier this week, I went to that other vape shop, not the vape shop with the manager who talked to Kaylee 3 weeks before the murders, but the other vape shop over closer to the gas station where the surveillance picture of the white car came from. And if you guys have been following, that vape shop said that police had come there to get surveillance video, but they were a day late. They came 9 days after the murders, and the video only saved for about a week. So it was interesting tonight. The Gonsalves family lawyer said he also went to that vape shop to confirm that story because he was upset to hear that. And he has apparently now put in a request with the police to find out why it took them so long to go there. And as of tonight, he said he still hasn't heard anything. So just reading through some of your comments now.
I can't pause the video because it's live, but Cookies, I'm sure thousands of people own that white car. I highly doubt that's the one driving by when they know that they're looking for him. And just so happens that Chris McDonough saw it. I wouldn't doubt it if Chris McDonough rented the car from somewhere and then have his wife drove by. That's just how shady he is. Energy's Candles woman is in Ohio. I have the pink if you want. Huh?
Ex-boyfriend has the dog. It's kind of like a shared dog, so he has the dog now. Some of you are asking about Moscow. It's actually a really, really nice town, like a really nice college town. The downtown is really, really pretty. There's like a nice big Christmas tree. So I'll be.
That's what I'm saying. The white car is right there. There's the white Elantra. Hello. Yeah, I don't know what Joy's talking about. I'm not sure, Ashley.
Rumor. The police, I actually went out there when I first heard about it, and they haven't been at the frat house. So, the Idaho State Police have been here since almost the beginning. They have a ton of troopers here, and they sort of stage over there near the frat house. There's always 5 to 10 cars in the same area over there. So that's just the way it's been since the beginning. So there wasn't anything going on. Yeah, so winter break is now officially starting. So it was already quiet because finals were mostly online. But now it's about to get really, really quiet here. So I'll be on Banfield tonight. Some of you are asking at it's 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific here. And we'll have the latest from today. I also, like, a lot of people have been asking about what's behind the house. So we did a report today about what it's actually like back there. There's a little trail that goes behind the house up to a yard. There's another like neighborhood up behind the house, and there's a little trail that connects to a yard up there. So we showed that. So we'll have that coming up. And then we showed that kind of what it's like up there if someone could have parked up there and walked down. So we have all of that coming up tonight on Banfield. As for the cameras, so I did talk to the owner late last night of an apartment building right down the street from here that overlooks, it's about a half a block in from Taylor Street, which is like the main street right down here by the house where the murders happened. And the owner told me that the police, he has one camera where you can see Taylor Street, although it's kind of far away. And the owner told me, sorry, it's just a car going by. The owner told me that the police contacted him a day or two after the murders, and that he gave them a month's worth of video, and that he saw a light colored car before 3 a.m. traveling on Taylor, but that it was very dark and blurry, and he couldn't say for sure that it was white. He just said light colored. And he said that the police told him that they were going to have the FBI enhance the video. We don't know if that is how the Hyundai Elantra description came about, if it was from his video or not, but he did confirm to me that he gave them that video. Yeah, the door does have a keypad. I haven't heard if the joggers came forward from the body camera video. Just going through your questions now. Where is the XBF? So I know he is around. I haven't interviewed him. I was just telling someone today, I mean, there's a lot of people that we've tried to talk to who haven't done media interviews so far, really just the Gonzalez family, but the other victims' families, have chosen to stay private, which I totally respect. I mean, I can't imagine what they're going through, but we have reached out. And then, of course, the survivors, the surviving roommates. So there's still a lot of people that we haven't talked to. We know the police have been talking to them, so that's obviously the most important thing, but
I forgot I can't pause it. The car came from the surveillance I heard this again today. The car came from the surveillance footage of the gas station at, like, I guess 3:45 or something, 3:30, 3:45, and it was driving fast, and the gas station attendant it caught his eye. So the cops now say that, or then said that that's why they know the car's involved. I don't see how they're connecting the two. That way, maybe they have some information that we don't know about, but I don't know. No, Ellie did say, I just watched that today, as a matter of fact. No way. Yeah, but that wasn't connected. According to the cops, that wasn't connected. And I believe we found that flashlight wasn't a flashlight. Didn't we say the flashlight was a reflection? I don't remember, though. No, I don't think it's a red herring. I know a lot of people were saying that. I don't think it's a red herring. They were looking for that car, but no. They got that white car from the footage. That I do know. I just heard it today. That's how I know I'm right. I just literally heard it today.
or that has sustained injuries, like they should have put something out more specific immediately. That's a frustration of the families. Sorry, I'm starting to like shiver a little if I sound weird. So if you're asking again, yeah, the state troopers were not at the frat house. That was, I mean, at least that I can tell. I was over there when that rumor started going around. I mean, every time I hear about a rumor, I usually try to check it out if it seems like it could be possible. And I was telling, if you just joined earlier, so near Sigma Chi is where the state troopers like have been staging ever since I got here. So there's like a lot of their cars over there, and sometimes they're sitting in them, or sometimes they're just running, or they're just parked. So that's not unusual at all. That's the area where they always are. Yeah, I'll be on Banfield tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern. How many people are in my crew? So we've kind of had a variety of people.
See, this is where I get frustrated, though. There's 1,236 viewers watching him. He's not even saying anything. There's no new news. He's not saying shit. And he has 1,236 viewers. What am I doing wrong, people? What's up, Panda? What's up, Coffee? No, I'm telling you, I can't remember where I heard it today, but they were talking about that the white car came from the surveillance footage and that the police know more than they're letting on. They know more than what they're telling people. I think it was on Law Network. Hold on, let me find it. Because I know I just watched it today. Hold on, let me go back to YouTube. What CDT channel? Like, I know I just saw it today. No, I don't watch JLR, so I know it didn't come from him. Yeah, it was today I saw it. Let me go to history. Maybe ABC? Yeah, I think this is it. Hold on. ABC Chicago. It's only a 2-minute video.
This morning, as students at the University of Idaho head home for winter break, the killer of 4 of their classmates still on the loose.
Through our tips, through our leads, some of the evidence that came in, we start to identify patterns.
Police now revealing they're going through 22,000 cars that match the search criteria of the one they're looking for, a 2011 to 2013 white Hyundai Elantra, like this. The car resembling this grainy image they're now investigating, captured on a gas station security cam taken around 3:45 the morning of the murders. Employees at that gas station telling ABC News they told investigators the car took this route, heading in the direction of the victim's home, but they don't know where it went once it left the camera's view. Officers believe the occupants of the Elantra they're searching for have information critical to the investigation and are pleading to the public for help.
If we get the word out there, hey, maybe your neighbor has one in the garage that they don't drive very often. Maybe there's one that's just not on the registration database. Let us know.
The parents of Kaylee Gonsalves telling Arcana Whitworth they also worry critical video could be overlooked and disappear.
I ask the community, if you know you have a tape, if you know that there's a recycle time and it's getting close to that, take the extra step. Go in there, look for it, pull it off. I mean, we would appreciate it.
The family searching for clues. They have questions about the behavior of Kaylee's dog that was found in the home, but police say there was no indication the animal had entered the crime scene.
If he was locked in a room, I would guess that he would bark and claw and whine.
2 of the roommates surviving unscathed. Christy Gonsalves empathizing with them.
They're victims as well, and I'm sure they're terrified.
Now, as campus quiets for the holidays, Kaylee's parents demanding answers.
I mean, who can do something like this?
Where are you? Who are you?
More than a month into this investigation, and police have yet to identify a suspect.
The Moscow police chief insisting that they do have a lot more information that they have not made public, concerned it could compromise their investigation. Mola Lengi, ABC News.
Now, honestly, I don't believe that. I really don't believe they have all this information. So, you guys see what I'm talking about? They only got the information about the car from this video. I mean, that's really what they're saying. So if I'm wrong on that, show me where I'm wrong, but that was what I got out of this video, is that that's where they got the car from. That's where they got the information from, was this surveillance footage video. Was from this video. All right. Show me where I'm wrong. No way. Like give me a clip or a channel or something that proves me wrong. That's what I mean. I'm willing to accept if I'm wrong. But show me where they ever talked about this car before this surveillance video came out. Because I really think people, now again, I could be wrong, but I really think people get facts and the speculation that's been around confused, and it like bubbles into one. Because going back to the early interviews, I don't ever remember anybody talking about any specific car. And when I say anybody, I don't mean like a neighbor. I mean like the police. I don't remember the cops ever naming a car or a type of car or anything they were looking for, or even the parents or anything. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think so. But hey, I've been wrong before. I was wrong about Kylie Rodney's case. They didn't name a car. I didn't think so. No, that was after the surveillance footage came out. No way. When the surveillance footage came out is when they put out the APB for that they wanted a car, but they used the stock photo. And then somehow they released this. No, Amanda, if I would love to see it. Yeah, but that was after they got the gas station footage. Look at Fox 13. All right. Facebook or YouTube? This came from the gas station worker. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're saying no. All right, I'm on Fox 13, Tampa Bay. No, it wouldn't be Tampa Bay, right? Fox 13 comes up Tampa Bay. Fox 13, Utah. Fox 13, Seattle. All right, we got Fox 13, Utah. Yeah, Idaho. Fox 13, Seattle. I don't know which one to pull up. Pick yes, but the chief did say name a car. Thought I heard. Thought the gas station lady said she looked for. Thank you. That's Sasha. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Who told the clerk what type of car to look for? I don't know if she was actually looking for a specific car. You're wrong. They were talking about the car before this guy. I didn't. No. I didn't say that there wasn't gas station footage, but the actual car that came out, like the picture, the grainy picture of the car. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that the idea of the car came from the footage of the gas station. It was seen on a camera in the neighborhood? What are you talking about? Yeah, the police put out a stock photo. Ellie asked the public to look for a white Elantra. Then this gas station worker went back and looked at their footage, apparently. Are you sure? This is before the... if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I thought that the white car came from the gas station footage. I mean, the gas station guy, girl, whatever. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I was wrong. But I'm going to have to prove it, though. Not that I don't believe all you guys, but I'm going to have to prove it to myself. Seems the guy said about the black vehicle all said something about the white car. I didn't hear him say that because I wasn't paying attention. 12:09 is when Ellie began to ask the public about a white car. Okay. So 12:09, they started asking the public, which is around the time they mentioned the video. 12:07. Oh, I don't know if there was a ghost screaming or not. Court TV talked about the car. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So be it. Some of us asked questions, gave a few things we knew and heard, and you listen and admit you could be wrong, and most have right to double check, so we all know. Oh, I agree. I mean, it's going to take me more than a minute to double check, but I don't know. I thought, all right, so what you guys are saying, which makes sense too. So what you guys are saying is that Ellie put out this info about the car, then the gas station guy or girl found this footage on his satellite. So that's what we're all seeing. Is that right? Do I have that right? Yeah, I know the gas station tends to search footage on her own. Okay. Hey, that makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense. So that's why the gas station footage is huge, because because the cops believe that that is the car, right? All right. Well, if that's the case, yeah, I know the photo just came out 3 days ago, but if that's the case, then maybe they do have other information about this car. Maybe. But if they know so much about this car, then why can't they find it? Yeah, there's no way Ellie would know if it's the car. I mean, you can't even see anything. And that's why the pic of the white car the day after is also in question. I catch on quick. But I'm telling you, when I'm making candles, I'm literally watching like Lifetime movies and horror movies. Like, I don't follow any of this during the day. Person is not coming forward for a reason. I think they're from Washington State. Why Washington State? They could be anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country. Yeah, and all those cars look alike too. You catch on after you argue. No, I was just trying to understand. Like, I have to connect the dots, and I have to do it in my own head. Because if I don't connect the dots in my own head, then it won't work. Now, you guys have a choice. I can put on Banfield and go pick up my son like we did last time. Hopefully, it won't get stuck. Or I can shut down and you guys can watch Banfield elsewhere. It's up to you guys. As of tonight, they've expanded their search by 30 miles. What good is 30 miles? Yeah, what? You wait for me to get it. So you want me to put on Banfield? Now that I know I can get Banfield. News. Casey Anthony breaks silence about notorious trial and new docuseries. What new trial?
Why did I wait 31 days to call 911?
Did you do everything in your power to protect your daughter?
The public thought that Casey didn't want to be a mother.
The lies make you think that she did murder this child.
It's not the Casey that I knew.
She loved that child.
This case had so many twists and turns, and now Casey Anthony explains why she says she lied about her daughter's disappearance and what she thinks happened to Kaylee. Anthony points the finger of blame directly at her father, George, saying Kaylee drowned while he was watching her, and that after years of abuse, she went along with his efforts to cover it up. This is quite different than her defense team's argument at her trial back in 2011, when they argued that Casey and her father both covered up the so-called accidental drowning together. The defense also accused George at the time of abusing Casey throughout her childhood. Casey now claims Kaylee died on her father's watch alone, and that he convinced her Kaylee was alive for the 31 days before Casey's mother finally reported the 2-year-old missing. Casey says she lied for her dad because she was brainwashed by years of abuse. It's a Me Too narrative that comes more than a decade after the trial. Now, here's why I thought and still believe the prosecution had a very strong case, and why I, along with many others, were stunned when the jury unanimously found her not guilty. 2-year-old Kaylee went missing in 2008. She wasn't reported missing for 31 days, and only then by Casey Anthony's mother, who couldn't get a straight answer from Casey about where her granddaughter was. She eventually told them and the police that a nanny she hired abducted the child. It later came out that for part of the 31 days, Casey says she spent trying to find her daughter on her own. She was actually out partying with friends, and pictures emerged of her, which certainly did not help her case. And as police discovered, the nanny never existed. Casey also claimed to have worked at Universal Studios, where a coworker recommended.
Let me just say something before I leave about the Casey Anthony case. It really surprises me that all of these news reporters were stunned at the jury's verdict. The jury did exactly what a good jury does. If the prosecution does not prove beyond a reasonable doubt, then they should not convict somebody, especially of like death penalty. And the prosecution did not present a strong enough case. And the jury did exactly what they're supposed to do. Do not base on emotion. We all know that she fucking did it, But knowing that she did it and proving that she did it are two different things. And the prosecution could not do it. I commend that jury. I don't know what I would have done because that's really fucking hard. Do not base it on emotion. Do not base it on your own personal feelings rather than the evidence presented. Most juries will go on emotion. So I commend that jury that they were able to separate their emotion and actual facts. And it really surprised me that all of these reporters are all like, oh, I was stunned, or oh, I'm shocked. Why? The jury did what they are supposed to do. And that is base it on, did the prosecution prove their case? No, they did not. And remember, and people correct me on this, and they're right. She wasn't proven innocent. She was just acquitted. And there's a big difference. Nobody ever said she didn't do it. They just said that she was acquitted. So she may not go to jail for it, but nobody ever said she didn't do it. Even the jury never said she didn't actually do it. Because I think everyone knows she did it. But they put that doubt that the father could have possibly been involved. And they weren't wrong. So kudos to the jury. Kudos to the defense. That's what I'd want on my defense team and that jury. So that's just how I feel. But it really surprised me, all these reporters that try to put, I mean, people respect these reporters. People respect this guy. People respect Vinnie Politano. Vinnie Politan. I always call him Politano. You know, people respect these people. And when you're getting respect, you can't put out stuff that may taint another jury pool because they're basing it on their emotions. And that's a dangerous game. Dan Abrams is extremely well respected. And he's putting out there the jury got it wrong. No, the jury didn't get it wrong. The jury got it right. You're the one getting it wrong, dude. And that shit aggravates me.
Sign on the back of it with her picture in there. And I do think his grief was sincere. And I do think if his granddaughter had been found in a pool and she had accidentally drowned, that he would have called 911. And Dan, I think that's the thing that sticks out with me more than anything was when Dr. G, the medical examiner, Jan Garavaglia, testified and said, in no case that I've ever been involved with when a child has died by accidental drowning has someone not called 911. So that was a very telling fact for me. But I found George to be very sincere, and his desire to find his, at that time, missing granddaughter genuine.
I still wonder if OJ's son was involved. I don't think OJ did it alone. But the whole thing with the gloves don't fit, you must acquit was the dumbest thing I ever heard because, of course, it's leather. Leather is going to stretch, but leather's also going to shrink. He was in jail. His hands are going to get bigger. So, of course, the gloves weren't going to fit. Duh. It was so dumb.
Tonight on Banfield, the Idaho quadruple murder mystery, day 33. How far will investigators go for a possible sighting of a suspect or a certain mystery car? New information tonight that investigators are showing up in neighboring towns. We'll show you where and what they're asking. Also ahead, the state police have the manpower, the feds have the expertise, but Moscow police have one big advantage that may end up solving the case. They know their own backyard. But how well do they know the victim's backyard? Specifically, how easy it is to make an escape there. Tonight, you're about to find out firsthand. And then, when police say targeted attack, does it mean you can rest easy? The answer is no, because serial killers target complete strangers all the time. Tonight, the lessons learned from Ted Bundy's savagery, from the man who sent him to his death and knew every inch of his life's wicked work. And later, a whole new angle on the massacre. If the killer fled through the backyard and slipped through the woods to a getaway car, just how easy would that be? Our Brian Enton puts the theory to the test, and he is going to show you firsthand in this special hour of Banfield. Hello and welcome to our Friday night special report on the University of Idaho murders. Day 33 since those kids were killed, and I want you for a moment to picture this. Somebody intent on committing bloody murder slips into a house full of kids on a dead-end street and then slips away without a trace. All of us outside Moscow, Idaho, have been trying to picture that for nearly 5 weeks, and it is hard to do it. We've seen the victim's house from every which way, inside and out, but the surroundings are still a bit hard to visualize. But what if you looked at their neighborhood in a whole new way, from a whole new angle? Because a bird's eye view can yield a lot of clues as to how the killer may have made an escape. I want to show you a Google map of the area, and you can see the crime scene is marked in the middle of your screen, 1122 King Road. The Sigma Chi fraternity is down the hill from the house, but it is up at the top of your screen. You can see it there off to the left. On the right is that A&W fast food place and the gas station. That's next to Highway 95. And we know the police took surveillance video from that spot, possibly to track that mystery white Hyundai Elantra. Up until now, the prevailing theory has been that the killer approached the house from here, from the front. Real easy to see, real easy to figure out where you're going, especially in the dark. But maybe that killer didn't go through the front door. Maybe the killer went up to the left, up King Road, up here. Maybe they walked to the back, to the sliding glass door or the window that would give them entrance to the kitchen. But what if none of this happened? What if we've gotten it wrong or our assumptions have been way off the mark? What if the killer actually made the approach from the back of the house? Things are a little different if you look at the map. So the Google map will show you that there is a very thick line of trees. It's like a little mini forest that's right behind the house. And if you think about it, that would provide a heck of a lot of cover for anybody trying to approach in the dark undetected. On the other side of those trees, the bottom of your screen is a long snaking road called Walenta Drive. If the killer did indeed come from that direction, I'm going to tell you firsthand, Walenta Drive would be an ideal place to pull over, park your car, get out without being noticed. Because there aren't that many cars in that spot. There aren't that many houses either. Certainly, likely very few ring cams. That spot is also ideal because Walenta Drive provides plenty of ways to get away after a crime. That's because Walenta Drive is not a dead-end street. Far from it. I want you to look at how many escape options there are to drive away from that spot. Route number 1, the killer takes Walenta Drive to Nez Pierce Drive. That's the road that the Sigma Chi house is actually located on, that red line right there. Easy to get away. Route number 2, the killer takes Walenta Drive in the opposite direction. That would take you past the A&W gas station and maybe give you a way to merge onto Highway 95. Route number 3, well, that route joins Taylor Avenue almost immediately. And then you'd pass by that school field. You've heard about it. It's called Band Field. And it also takes you by the A&W gas station before also giving you a real quick exit onto Highway 95. And this one might actually be the most likely route because of what Brian Enton learned yesterday. The owner of a 6-unit rental building on this street here called Linda Lane. See how close it is to the house where the kids were murdered? That owner turned over surveillance video to the police showing, you guessed it, a light-colored or white car driving down Taylor Avenue right around the time of the murders. Now, let's be clear. that could have been the killer's car if the killer had parked on Walenta Drive and taken that last route, Route 3, Taylor Avenue, to the highway. But guess what else it could be? It could have been somebody just driving down Taylor at that same time the killer was. And police just might want to find out if that person driving the white car might have actually seen the killer's car. All of these theories depend on whether the killer actually could approach and escape that crime scene through those thick trees just beyond the backyard. And I'm going to come back to that in just a moment, because that is one very big if, and it is key to all of those routes and all of those escapes. First, though, word from Moscow police that they have now screened the majority of the content that they have been gathering up from, quote, critical cameras during crucial times before and after the homicides, which really, honestly, that sounds like a milestone. Thing is, they're not saying yet what was seen on those critical cameras at those crucial times. And adding to the frustration, honestly, there are still, quote, hours and hours of content submitted by businesses and homes and by the public that remains to be vetted. Here is the chief himself, James Fry, in, and I'm sorry to say it, another of their latest do-it-yourself interviews. That's an interview, in quotes, air quotes, where their own staff ask and answer the questions.
We've looked at the 24 hours prior to and 24 hours after of those, and now we're extending that out even further to other cameras and other time frames.
Okay, time frames. Time frames aren't the only things being extended, we're learning. New reports reveal that Moscow police have now traveled as far as 24 miles east of Moscow to the town of Kendrick. You can see it right there on Highway 99. And they have been asking around in that town for, you guessed it, surveillance cam video. They even stopped by a supermarket, we have learned, to ask for surveillance video. Why a supermarket? Maybe it just showed a good route past, or maybe that person stopped in to grab something for a long drive. Who knows? But they also visited a gas station, and that gas station was in the town of Troy. You can see that also on Highway 99, connected by Highway 8. That's about 12 miles away, but it's in the same direction. Aha. So does this mean that investigators believe the killer took Highway 8 to the east, maybe turning on Highway 99, heading southeast? And by the way, how much further from there are they going to start asking questions? NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Enton knows how to ask questions. He joins me live now. So Brian, we just showed how they're expanding that digital search. Does it mean that they're actually tracking the path of the killer, or maybe the white car east of Moscow into those neighboring towns?
It's a very, very good question. Or are they just doing their due diligence and don't know exactly which way the killer was going? We don't know. Police won't tell us. I did interview the police public information officer, Robbie Johnson, today, and she explained that the cameras in the area surrounding where the house is where the murders happened, the house behind me, that they have checked all of those cameras, at least they believe they have at this point, in the perimeter around the house. So they are now starting the process of widening out that perimeter. Listen to what she told me. Are you able to say how far you're widening that net in terms of looking for video? I mean, is it miles away? Is it hundreds of miles away?
It's about prioritizing. So the closer we are to where it happened and then gradually move out from there is really the most effective way to get the highest chances of seeing something, seeing this vehicle on video or in an image or anything else that might be important for the investigation.
So she didn't give specifics, Ashley, but I will tell you, coming out of that interview today, it does seem the focus still is very much the white Hyundai Elantra.
So here is what I just keep going over and over in my mind, and I know you are too, and that is that every single media outlet, every single newspaper, every single blog, every single podcast, every single, digital headline is about a white Hyundai Elantra. They want to talk to whoever it was. Do they think that that person is actually going to come forward? Do they think maybe the media hasn't reached that person yet? Because you got to be living under a rock or have left for Mars if you have not heard the report that they want to talk to you.
That is such a good question. And I asked her that question yesterday, and her response was, that's a very good question. You would assume that if you were just a college kid or a local who happened to be driving by the house or in the area of the house, and you have seen your Hyundai Elantra on the news or, you know, a stock photo of it, why not just call? Why not just call at this point? Surely you've seen it by now. Is it possible that that person just lives under a rock and hasn't been watching? Yes. But is it also possible that there's something more to this Hyundai Elantra that we don't know? Perhaps it's not just a witness. Seems like that could be the case too. When I asked that question yesterday, they told me that's a very good question.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I think. The longer and longer that media reports blanket the earth with the white Hyundai Elantra and nobody comes forward, it's because that nobody don't want to be found, and for good reason. Okay, the other thing that I was so happy to see that the police were actually answering our questions and actually going face to face with you rather than the state media releases where there's nobody from the media to question and hold them accountable. I wanted you to ask about the big scoop you had last night. You found a person in town, a business owner, that actually could corroborate that fleeting report that Kaylee may have had a stalker. So tell me, A, remind viewers that might be joining us now that didn't see last night what you found, and then what the police have said about it.
Yeah, so last night we talked to a manager at a vape store not far from here at all who had seen Kaylee and Maddie and other friends 6 to 7 times, he said, as recently as 3 weeks before the murders. And he says that they were talking about a stalker. Listen to what he told us.
They always came in just chatting. They always came with a group, like I said. They probably, I'd say, 4 or 5 girls at most, all the time. They come in together. And I made a joke about it earlier. It was like, hey, coming together and stuff like that. It's nice to see you girls trying to stay safe. One of them more or less openly says, "Oh yeah, we've had a friend of ours be stalked before, so this is kind of why we all travel in a group like this." And just was it Kaylee who said that? Do you remember? No, it was Maddie who actually said that. So Maddie said it, and it was kind of like more mentioning, like motioning to Kaylee too, like who was right next to her. So.
And so he said that he had called the police tip line, and he said that police were actually in that store a couple of days after the murders looking for surveillance video. And as recently as tonight, Kaylee Gonzalez's family attorney has said that he is hoping that the police will go out and interview that man and try to get more information about his story and try to talk to the friends who were with Kaylee and Maddie, who he referenced, who may also be able to corroborate that story. I asked police about this today. Listen to what they said. We talked to a store manager who said that he had some information that Kaylee may have been stalked. Is that something investigators are looking into?
When we hear people report that kind of thing, we definitely want to hear about it. And we ask that people call our tip line, because that is where they can get connected to the people who really know what to ask and what they need to hear to see if that is something we can use or not. So we have this group of people, they're dedicated to the digital stuff, the video footage. We have another group dedicated to the emails coming in, and then yet another group just dedicated to phone calls. So we want those people to use one of those channels to report this so we can see how useful it is, and we really appreciate it.
So I haven't talked to the manager today. I don't know that he has made contact with police today or if they have reached out. Kaylee Gonzalez's family has said that she never talked about a specific stalker. She was very, very close to her sister, Ashley. They talked about pretty much everything. Her sister says she would be surprised if this was something that didn't come up in conversation. But obviously, it needs to be investigated, especially in light of what that man said.
Or just as a girl who was in college and used to walk around with my friends, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's as serious as maybe it is. And you just refer to he's a stalker. He just is bugging me. He asks me out on a date all the time and whatever. And it isn't something that you fear in the way that maybe you and I would regard the word stalker as dangerous and sometimes deadly. Maybe they're just thinking annoying, and it might have not have risen to the level of of a report to her sister. It could have been just sort of passing conversation. I'm filling you in on more than you need to know there, Brian. But I do want to come back to you about this whole map that we've now seen from the bird's eye view, the house behind you. We always think about the killer coming to the front, maybe the car driving by the front, but there's a whole world behind that house, and you're going to take us there. So Brian, get warm. You get a little bit of time down, but not a lot. And in the meantime, I want to bring in Lauren Matthias if I can. She is the host of the Hidden True Crime podcast. She's been following this case from the beginning. You know Idaho well. It's kind of like your backyard as well. I want to ask you a question that, look, I have lived in a small town, and I know the feeling sometimes of a small town. And when federal agents show up in a small town, it can bristle people. And I wondered, now that we know that the surveillance search or the information search has now branched out to like 24 miles away into those other small towns like Troy, how do the folks in rural Idaho or in those smaller towns, how do they like it when federal agents show up and start asking questions? Are they helpful? Do they support the police no matter what level or what badge they're wearing? Or might they run into roadblocks and find this a difficult effort to try to extract information from folks far-flung?
Great questions you have there, Ashley. You know, what's interesting is I would say you're exactly right, typically, right? Typically, you nailed it with the small towns. They're not going to like outsiders, federal agents coming in. When it comes to this crime and this case, I think they're going to welcome it. I think, you know, how many students are going to come back to the, you know, University of Idaho if they don't solve this? How many people are going to be looking at this police department if they don't arrest someone or solve this horrendous crime? The good news is the FBI has been involved from the very beginning. You know, it's always been a bit of a multi-agency investigation. That's going to be in their favor. People are already used to the FBI a bit, but expanding, bringing more in, it's going to be overwhelming to the residents. But I really do think when it comes to this case and this crime, they're going to welcome this and they're going to be willing to talk and willing to help.
Look, I'm really glad for that. People have to support the police in this effort, even if they're frustrated and angry and they don't think that they're getting far. You have got to do everything when they come knocking, no matter what your political views might be. So the other question I have for you, and I don't know if you're going to have the answer, but I wonder what your gut tells you. When I heard they're moving 24, miles out and maybe even further, I thought two things instantly and simultaneously. Oh my God, they don't have anything. And they're going farther in a desperate search for anything. And then I corrected myself right away and I thought, oh, they're onto something. They're following a trail. They got a trail and it's taking them that way. What's your gut on that, Lauren?
The exact same thoughts you have had. Again, you just said what everybody's thinking. They either have nothing, so they're expanding their search because they've done all they can in Moscow, or they have a trail and they're following it. Clearly, this car that you've mentioned, this Elantra, is everything, right? And I think you also posed the same questions we all have, Ashley, which is this someone they just want to question? Because, and I love that you asked that question to Brian, because why haven't they come forward? Or is this a suspect? Great questions. We're all asking them. And I think it's the same with them expanding this search. Do they have something? Is there a trail? Or are they expanding because nothing? Absolutely nothing. Because we're all waiting to find out.
Because the trail's going cold in Moscow, or is the trail getting hot somewhere else? So Lauren Matthias, thank you. Great wisdom. And I always love to hear your local perspective on this. So keep calling us and keep letting us know what you're doing. And we're going to talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Will do. Thanks.
Straight ahead, the escape routes. They're not the only things investigators can learn from maps. Maps can also show you patterns, and patterns can show you a serial killer, potentially. So after the break, I'm going to speak with the man who sent one of the worst serial killers in history to the electric chair. Do the Ted Bundy murders provide any valuable lessons or any clues for the Idaho police? That's next.
Oh my. Oh my. You know what's so funny, though? You want to laugh? I was literally looking into switching to Xfinity and Comcast because I can't stand my service provider. And then I see this, that they don't have News Nation. I was like, no. Machete's too big. Machete would have sliced their heads off. I need to get on Banfield. Right, Fluffer? We need to go on Banfield? We say, Banfield, stop sensationalizing. You're smarter than this. Ah, a puppy like you. Sure isn't it? Yeah. Because, guys, you have to understand something. Here's another fact versus fiction. Factual, that's the one thing about this case that the cops have not strayed from. They have not changed their minds about the knife. They said it was a rigid knife. They would know a machete cut from a knife cut. So you have to remember that. That's the one thing they never strayed away from, was the actual knife. So people coming up with theories about an axe or something like that, or a machete, it not gonna happen. Back at the perfect time, Laura. I've been back. Where have you been? I just didn't want to cut it during a commercial. Right, Fluffy? Right, Fluffy? He's so excited. My husband used his to cut through his brush. Banfield and be like, bitch, better ask somebody who I know, right? Remember Stella's sister escaped her bunny in the 60s, told the story on his channel, she got away. That's scary. That's the one way I don't want to die. I don't want to die by a serial killer. I don't want to die like that. That's a scary way to die. Stella's still around. We do need to go on Banfield. I'm like, hi, Ashley. How are you today? First said it was a K-bar Rambo, then they said it was a fig. Yeah, but I'm saying they knew it was a knife. They knew it was a rigid edge knife. Now, a hatchet wouldn't. It would be a different kind of knife wound. I agree. No way. I like to die in my sleep too. You just never wake up. Coroner said they weren't stab wounds, more like slice, huge gaping wounds. The coroner said that, or someone reported the coroner said that? Because I don't remember hearing the coroner say that. I remember hearing other people report it, but I don't remember hearing the coroner say it. Yeah, Lizzie Borden used an axe. The father allegedly, because allegedly the father also didn't say the other things. According to Kaylee's sister, but not according to the coroner.
Okay, you're gonna have to stick with me for a second here, because I am going to talk about something that might get you a little crazy. Targeted attacks. Stay with me though. I am not at all going to bring up those excruciating flip-flops from the Moscow police and the county prosecutor. I actually want to talk about what that really means, targeted, because it is very different. If you live in the city of Moscow, or if you live in the surrounding areas and you hear that the killer, quote, targeted these kids or their house, you may well think that while that is horrible, you are, relatively safe, because maybe the killer had some history with the victims, or a grudge or a grievance, or, something about that house. And that's why they died, but not you. You can relax. That's not your problem. And that is a very dangerous assumption, because serial killers target their victims too. When they go looking for their prey, they pretty much never know anything about them. They don't know them. Totally random. They generally choose them based on physical or personal characteristics like blonde girls, or maybe pretty girls on social media, or maybe sorority girls, or people who are easy prey, the ones who are fast asleep in their beds in the middle of the night. That's what serial killers do. They pick random people, but they pick them for a reason. And while the Moscow massacre certainly could fall into that category, at least 2 other recent murders definitely do. And not that far away from this house either. Same kind of weapon was used, and it is even possible the victims were all killed on the same day of the month, too. Once again, I go to the handy dandy map. This will really put it in perspective. On June 14th, 2020, in Washougal, Washington, 71-year-old Sandra Ladd was found dead from multiple stab wounds to her torso. And reports say she was in her bed. And because Sandra Ladd lived alone, some people speculate that she might not have been found right away, and it is quite possible she was murdered actually on June 13th, not the 14th, when she was found. Sandra Ladd's killer was never caught. Little over a year later, August 13th, 2021, Salem, Oregon, a couple asleep in their bed, masked man breaks in, stabs them both. The husband died, but miraculously, the wife survived, despite being stabbed 19 times. That attacker also never caught. And it is not lost on many that the Idaho 4 were also murdered on a 13th day of the month, November 13th. That's 3 unsolved stabbings in neighboring states, possibly all of them on the 13th of each month. All of them using a knife, all of them in their beds. Moscow police have said there is no evidence connecting the student murders to the past cases. But until the killer is caught, here or in those other cases, should it be ruled out that a serial killer may be on the loose in that area of the country? It has been noted repeatedly.
Okay, well, let's look at this, okay? Who died on December 13th? Who died on December 13th by stabbing in a neighboring state? If that answer is nobody, then it's not connected.
That the Idaho murders look almost identical, like a copycat of 2 other famous serial killers. In 1990, the so-called Gainesville Ripper, Danny Rawling, murdered 5 University of Florida students over the course of 4 days. All of them were women. All of them were stabbed to death in off-campus houses with more than 1 occupant. And then, of course, there is Ted Bundy. His rampage at the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University is one of the more chilling, more frightening in serial killer history. It began at 3 a.m., January 14th, 1978. He entered the house through a back door. He went room to room. He beat and strangled 2 of the victims, sexually assaulting one of them. He then went further through the house, bludgeoning 2 other women. Those 2 survived. But then after Bundy escaped, he moved on to a nearby apartment where yet again, he went to work, brutally beating yet another victim before a neighbor scared him off. He was arrested months later, and eventually Bundy was convicted of 3 counts of murder and confessed to raping and killing 30 women. He was executed by electric chair 1989. And the lead prosecutor who sent him to his death knows a couple of things about how serial killers operate, how they pick their victims, and how they carry out their crimes. He also knows how to catch and kill them. And he's going to join me live next.
Ted Bundy's birthday is the 12th, not the 13th. Just so you know. And I double checked. But to say that a murder in another state, I mean, that's a hard connect. Especially when none of them were connected. Like, not like he went to a college in one town and killed her. I mean, you know how many deaths there are every day? So, like, if someone was targeting college campuses and did this in another college in another state, I would give it more credibility. But not just random killings in other states. Oh, I definitely think the numbers are there. It's something with the numbers. The other one, Florida sorority, not two. He killed 2, destroyed 3 other lives. 2 survivors that were not touched killed themselves from survivor's guilt. Not really all a day's drive. That's what I'm saying. And it was like years apart. Yeah, but you can do that. Route 80 will get you from one side of the country to the other. You could drive down Route 80 and go from like Maine all the way to California. I don't know. I know a lot of you guys think I'm crazy on this, and I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but I still haven't ruled out the fraternity stories on 4chan. I have not ruled that out. I haven't found evidence to rule it out. There's no sound on here. That's because I'm talking. Well, you want to see an Omaha Steak commercial? Yeah, I haven't ruled it out yet. And I really hope the cops take it seriously. I really do. Because I don't know, it just makes sense. What they need to do, they need to get the DNA from every single fraternity person. Every single fraternity brother needs to drop DNA. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. I don't know why it wasn't mandatory that every single person in that college give DNA. Plain and simple. Then you can rule out that it was a personal friend. You can rule out that it was, somebody. And even if they don't want to ask people, go into the fraternity. You'll find every single person's DNA. Well, that's another question, Dim. That I don't know. I never thought about the legal aspect. I'm just saying on the logical aspect. I don't know what the legal aspect is. Is it a gag order from lawyers? Maybe. Yeah, I-80. Thank you. Yeah, you can go anywhere on I-80. A lot of people get killed from I-80. But you know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and get if they think it's someone local, go ahead and get DNA. They do have probable cause. I mean, hell, they're searching the whole universe for this white car. All right, so go ahead and just get DNA. Yeah, but you can with a court order. 4chan had all info on Kyle case before Pink Miss settled, but way off thinking. JFK Jr. is gone, come back from dead. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard JFK is still alive. Someone told me about that.
Welcome back. The Idaho murders have left an entire town frozen in fear. I mean, think about it. Question for everybody there is, what does it mean when the cops say this was targeted? Was it something specific about those kids in their house, which means it had nothing to do with everybody else?
Well, Jen, they don't technically have DNA from the specific killer per se, but they do have a lot of DNA from the house. So you may be able to rule out half the fraternity guys if some of their stuff, if it doesn't match up to the house. For example, let's say this Leach kid was in the house and his DNA is in the house, but why would his DNA be on, so-and-so's wall or so-and-so's nightstand or something like that? Not everyone is going to be in all their bedrooms. I don't know. I just think they would need to use their heads a little.
Or can complete strangers living their innocent lives be targeted too? And the answer to that is yes. That is what serial killers do. They pick their targets and they plan their horror afterwards. The BTK killer did it. The Golden State killer did it. And so did Ted Bundy. And with several unsolved murders in neighboring states.
Is that Ted Bundy before he died? That looks like his eyes. That's what Ted Bundy looked like when he went to the chair? Damn.
That do in fact show some patterns, it may not be a reach to explore, at least, if the Idaho 4 were victims of a serial killer. Bob Deacle knows a thing or two about how to spot the handiwork of a serial killer, because he was the lead prosecutor who sent Ted Bundy to the electric chair. Bob, thank you so much for being here. I've wanted to talk to you for a very long time, decades. And my first question is, how soon after the sorority house, Ted Bundy, plied his trade there, how soon after did they know that they were looking for a serial killer? And what kinds of things did they finally figure out that led them to the idea that this was a serial killer?
Okay, I don't think that you actually knew that they were dealing with a serial killer until Bundy was arrested and finally gave up his identity. When he was first arrested, he gave a fake identity of Kenneth Meisner, who was a track star at the University of Florida, at FSU, who he had stole his identity. And they started talking about Kenneth Meisner committing the Cal Omega murders and being questioned about it out in Pensacola, Florida. And Kenneth Meisner called the Pensacola Police Department and said, "Hey, wait a minute. I don't know who you got out there, but it ain't me." And he went to Bundy. They leaned on him a little bit, and he finally gave up his true identity. He said, "I'm Ted Bundy." And nobody had ever heard of Ted Bundy, so how do you spell that? And it wasn't until just shortly after that they found out that Ted Bundy was one of the top 10 most wanted men in the United States. As a matter of fact, he made the top 10 list the day before he was arrested.
It's amazing to even imagine for a moment someone had to say, "Bundy, how do you spell that?" I mean, that really tells you the level of knowledge of what that man had been capable of doing. And I think that puts us in a good place here because, right now, the Idaho authorities are not suggesting for a minute that the other patterns that we've established earlier in the show pertain to the Idaho 4 that were murdered, in Moscow. But I'm curious as to why you wouldn't at least entertain the possibility when, isn't it a pattern that they're all killed in their beds, approximately same time, middle of the night, all with knives, all, women and men, as was the Idaho 4 as well. And they're all kind of within proximity, neighboring states to each other. Why is it not something that's being considered at this point? Because it sure is mysterious. It sure does seem like a boogeyman broke into that house and did this.
Okay, well, you don't know that they're not considering it. When you get a case like this, you start off, everybody's a suspect. And you work on eliminating suspects until you finally get down to the one person you can't eliminate, and then that's the killer. And I'm sure that they're working on any number of possible people of interest and going through them one by one and eliminating them. And the two murders that you talked about that in the other states, the similarities that you have described aren't really enough to be a signature of a killer.
I thought about that, Mr. Deckel. I thought about that. And then I realized that sexual assault wasn't involved in any of those either. So, the very first thing we all thought when we see these beautiful pictures of Kaylee and Maddie and Xana, and of course, Xana had her boyfriend Ethan staying over for the night. We thought, oh, this had to be some incel of some kind. This had to be sexual in nature. Look at these beautiful girls all attacked. And it wasn't, there were no sexual assaults that were reported in this crime in Idaho. And there were none that were reported with the other, similar patterns that were close by either. And that's still not enough.
Okay. What kind of knife was used? How were the injuries inflicted? For example, when Jack the Ripper was operating in London, they came up with 12 possible cases they blamed on Jack the Ripper, and they weeded out those cases based on the fact that the similarities of the attack weren't sufficient. Okay, the 4 or 5 canonical victims, the ones that they know Jack the Ripper did, were killed with a knife in such a way that it was a different sort of attack from the attacks on the other 8 women. And, just because somebody got stabbed with a knife, that doesn't mean that the same person stabbed them all.
That's a good point. No, I see. And here's the problem. We don't know because they're not releasing really any information about the knife that was used in this attack. Much of what we know, look, fixed blade. I got 100 of those in the house. I mean, my dinner knife is a fixed blade knife, right? So we don't know. All we know is that one of the shopkeepers in town was asked if he had sold, I'll show you actually, I don't know if you can see, but if he had sold a knife like this, one of those K-bar knives, I'm going to hold it up so you can see. One of the shopkeepers had been asked if he'd sold something like that. That's the only way we know anything about the possibility that, and I know that's weird that I happen to have that here, but what's that?
That's the knife that Danny Rawling used, was a K-bar.
That was the knife that Bundy used?
No, Danny Rawling.
Danny Rawlings. Okay, wow. Okay, thank you for that. That's helpful to know. Can I ask you one other thing?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, we have a little bit of a delay, and I apologize for that. But I do want to ask you that we've heard these Idaho murders described as a crime of passion or a crime of rage. A lot of people weigh in saying if you're going to go hand-to-hand combat like that, it's got to be passion or rage. But you have a different sort of look at it, especially if it's a serial killer. You have a different feel for what this crime, and you call it recreation. Can you sort of help me get my head around that?
Okay. It is quite possible that a person would inflict such injuries because it's fun to do. I prosecuted a serial killer who tortured his victims before he killed them. And he would cut their throats. He would bash them over the head with rocks. He would do other sorts of things to them in the same sort of a pattern. And he was doing it because he just enjoyed inflicting pain on people. And one of his victims, he took a corkscrew and screwed it into her neck. And she kept fainting as he was torturing her, and he would wake her up before he would do anything else to her so that she would be awake for the pain that he inflicted. So, rage might be a motive for doing that, but most of my experience with people who kill in a fit of rage is they're targeting one individual. And they go kill that one individual.
The work that you have done, my God, the things that you have seen, can't thank you enough for giving us some of your wisdom tonight. And thank you for, thank you for explaining what you did. And thank you for prosecuting Ted Bundy and sending him to where he'll never, ever have a shot at doing anything ever again. Thanks for your work.
Thank you, ma'am.
And still to come, turning the investigation.
Can anyone remember one thing this guy just said? Because I don't. I don't remember one thing this man just said. I don't know, no way. I don't know. Right? Yeah, I don't remember anything. Guy was horrible. I'm sitting there going, I could have beat this guy in court. Well, honestly, J Lord, my very first thought was that this was a serial killer. I mean, we started with that thought that maybe this was a serial killer. Like, Ashley, you're like 3.5 weeks late for this theory. Because we started out with this theory and then changed it. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem too swift. I gotta stop drinking soda. I don't have a suspect that, oh, I do. I got a suspect that fits the narrative. It's from 4chan. I think their subjects fit the narrative pretty well. Probably doesn't even remember. You might be right. The beginning was someone they knew. See, it. That's what I've changed into.
Do you have a candle?
What?
Do you have a candle?
Yeah, why?
Can I get one?
Take any of the ones that are over here. But let me see it. I'll let you know if it's any good. Yeah, you can have them. Because some of those are just testers for Wix. So some of them may not work right. But yeah, that one's fine. You guys hear my stomach? From drinking soda and eating a cookie. Something I should not be doing. Funny, when you asked that question, I stopped and thought, and no, I couldn't remember anything, but then I'm stoned and I'm in bed. Yeah, Dayton, the kids steal candles. They're like, do you have a candle I could steal? There's only like 30,000 throughout the house. Too many details that do not seem contradictory in 4chan. Yeah, I agree, Dennis. I don't know. Until I get, and I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but until someone shows me where I'm wrong, where it's wrong, I'm going with it so far. Banfield has been talking to MC. Who is MC? Is any to be honest with you, I don't know if anything's been added. I don't think so though, because the thread was closed. But think about it. Now they're away. Now they're on break. But I don't think it would be too hard to get evidence, to get DNA evidence from inside the house. It does, Laura Lee, but the kids are such fucking slobs. And I have candle shit everywhere, so it makes it even worse, especially like a time like now that when I'm packing a lot of stuff and I'm like, I took pictures, but I haven't posted any because I'm trying to get all these Christmas orders out. So I got shit everywhere. I can't even blame the kids. They just make it worse. But I got boxes. I got like the stuff I wrap the candles in, you know, bow tied, like everything is all over the place. It's crazy. It's an open case. Anything could be on the table. They said they have a lot of DNA, so they must have some, possibly of the killers. But don't forget, the killer has no entrance or exit. Exactly, Keister. Now, he just didn't know which, like, he doesn't know which ones he can take and which ones for an order. But I'm constantly testing wicks. So there's always wick candles around.
Up until now, the assumption in Moscow has been that the killer approached the student's house from the front and then walked around the back, where, well, they might have slipped through the sliding glass door or that kitchen.
Let me just put it out there. I never, ever thought that the killer walked right through the fucking front door. Ever. I don't know why she's saying everybody thinks that. I never once thought, and I don't think anyone on this channel ever thought the killer just walked in through the front door.
Window, but what if that assumption is just backwards? What if the killer actually approached the house from the backyard? That is effectively a hill and a wooded area that would provide a heck of a lot of cover even in the broad daylight. And if the killer then escaped the same way out, well, they could have easily slipped through those.
Am I in the fucking Twilight Zone? Haven't we always said the killer came in through the back? Like, they show these doors all the time. I thought that's what we've always said. She's making it out like we all thought it was. If you thought that the killer just walked right into the front door, you shouldn't be on TV, Banfield, because that has to be the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard. Exactly, no way. Why would anybody just walk right through the front door?
Trees and climbed their way back up onto a street called Walenta Drive, where a getaway car could easily have been waiting. So I asked Brian Enton to test out the theory, and he's back with me now live. A lot of times it's been hard for people to get that view because, you know, it's a crime scene tape. You can't just wander around, but you have had a chance to get a really good look at this, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's hard to get back there. There's an apartment complex. Honestly, the apartment manager has been, you know, not in the best of moods with everybody around, but we kind of became friendly with her and we've been able to go back there. And it's not as wooded as you think. I mean, you've seen the aerial pictures and it's not as steep as you would think. We were able to get back there and see if you could actually get up to that other neighborhood and road. And we're going to show you that in a couple of minutes, Ashley.
Okay, good. Don't go anywhere. I have to fit in this quick break, Brian. But when we come back, we're going to show you Brian's attempt to make it up from the back of the house, up the hill, through the trees to where a car could possibly have been waiting. Could that have been the hidden route for the killer to get away without a trace? Brian's going to put the theory to a test and show you just how easy it actually was to make that clean getaway. That's next.
I'm sorry, Ashley, but we've already covered this like 3.5 weeks ago. You're a little late, girlfriend. Just a tad bit. I need a show. I need my own show. Then I'd be on camera all the time because someone to come in and do my hair and makeup. There you go. Yes, Lex, it is. She's way late. We already have it mapped out. We've already mapped out from the front, from the back. Like, she's way late. Glass doors and climb with boot spikes? Nah, I don't think so. Now, could the killer have walked out the front door? Yeah. But did he walk right in? No. Definitely not. Definitely not. But he would have done the other two, but time, I think he wanted to be fast. Maybe. And that's another thing. You don't need hair and makeup. That's another thing that that the 4chan stuff said, was that the whole thing took 19 minutes. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. Because if you really like stop and think, 1 minute is a long time. So anyone thinks killer was able to walk in the open front door. I don't believe the door was open. The 4chan posted, well, they're on my video. I showed every single one of them on my video. Which video it was, I don't remember, but I have them all, Lex. In the beginning, Ellie said it was a targeted attack and was likely someone who knew live stream. Someone who knew the residents. Serial killer came in after this initial statement, after residents started putting pressure. Yeah, because they didn't know who the targeted attack was on. First, they said it was a targeted attack against Kaylee. Then they said it was a targeted attack against the house. Then they changed it all. You've been the only one I've seen to read all the posts. I really appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome, Amanda. Yeah, it's from whenever it came out, Lex, that day. You got to go like halfway through the stream and you'll find it. Yeah, Ellie said everyone was safe, and then they changed that though. Someone that knew exactly what they do once there, possibly. Those party, you hear my stomach? Those party lights were hanging that night. I don't think Maddie or Kaylee was a target. I think Ethan and Xana were a target. And somehow Kaylee and or hold up, I just thought of something. Maybe, just maybe. Hold on, this is big. This is good. Maybe they left the other two alive thinking they would get away with it because they would be blamed. Maybe that's why the other two were kept alive. Because if Dylan was alive, then Dylan had to be the one that did it. So maybe in their way of thinking that if they left the roommates alive, then the roommates would get the blame. It's logical thinking for a killer, and it works in the movies. I hadn't thought of it either until just now, Janice. It like literally just hit me. That maybe that's why they were kept alive. Maybe there wasn't some crazy reason, but maybe the Dylan, they figured, you watch a lot of TV. If you watch a lot of TV, then you would think that. What?
On King Road, updating us on the investigation. But today, Brian, you spent some time actually behind the house testing the theory that the killer might have actually approached the crime scene and escaped from the back, maybe even hopping into a getaway car that he conveniently maybe parked on the street behind all those trees. So take me there.
Yeah, actually, there are ways to get away from the back of the house, which we learned today. Take a look. We went up earlier today in the daylight so you could get a better view. Okay, so we are at the back of the house where the murders happened. This is the house right here. You can see the police line is still up. I've shown you this parking lot before. There's this big parking lot right behind because there's an apartment building right over there. But we wanted to show you what's even further back behind the house. So follow me. You walk to the back of the parking lot over here, to the very back corner. And there's this trail right here. And you can tell that other people have walked on it before because the snow is packed down and there's footprints. So possibly students walking up to the neighborhood up above. Come around the trail here. It sort of loops around right by the backyard. Through the trees right here. To this fence line. And basically the little trail continues to loop around. I don't want to go in the backyard of the people who live back here, but we'll show you what's on the other side. Okay, so we're up on the road back behind the house. This house behind me, that path that I showed you, that path connects to the backyard of this house. And there's really a whole other neighborhood up here. We're going to show you. I'm going to get in the car and drive you up. And just show you what's up here, because it's interesting. You've got the neighborhood down below where the apartments are, the college students. But up here, if you came up that path, you could have parked up here somewhere. Pan this way and show you. When you come around this corner, there's an intersection here. That's a dead-end street that way. This way is not a dead-end street. This is Ridge Road. So Walenta Drive we were on, this is Ridge Road. You see there's a whole other neighborhood up here. Ton of houses. And that area down below connects to this whole area up here. So you saw Ashley go up that path. It connects to that other yard that I showed you. And then you've got a whole nother area up there. A lot of places you could park and a lot of ways to get out.
I have two questions for you. One is, how quickly could you have made it from, say, the back kitchen sliding glass door out through the backyard and through sort of those woods and the trail up to Walenda Road where you were just driving?
Will was with me. What would you say? A minute?
Maybe a minute, but there's also
a minute. There's also snow. Maybe a minute. 45 seconds to a minute if you were really going fast, I would say.
Well, there's snow now, but there wasn't so much snow back then, right? It was pretty good footing at that
That's a good
point as
point.
well. Then the other
Yeah.
question, it looked to me, and I've only got 10 seconds here, but it looked like it was a perfect place to park a car, dark, no ring cameras anywhere. Nobody would notice anything if a car was parked up there for a killer to go down and do what he needed to do.
Real quick, there is a ring camera up there, one of the houses. I went and tried to find out if it was new or old. The owner didn't want to talk about it, but there are some ring cameras up there. So hopefully police have checked.
Well, certainly that dark, in the dark, that looked like it was pretty remote. It was a treed area that, would have been easy to be driving around without anybody seeing you park and take your leave. Brian, thank you. Excellent work as always. And I'm so glad you took us there because I've been so curious about that particular area. I want to close the show with something, while Moscow is mourning all of the 4 victims that, this is an unsolved crime, right? The Sigma Chi fraternity, that's the one where Ethan Chapin belonged. They released this statement in part reading, Ethan was a beloved member of our chapter who never failed to bring a smile to someone's face. Statement goes on to say that they've cooperated fully with law enforcement and that a scholarship has now been created in Ethan Chapin's name. So we wanted to let you know that if you wanted to give to that scholarship that's linked through the fraternity, it's very legitimate, obviously, you can do that. We have linked all of my social media accounts to that scholarship. So go to Facebook, Insta, Twitter, TikTok, at Ashley Banfield. My Twitter's TV Ashley with an Leigh, and you can give there. So thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you back here on Monday. Cuomo's next.
All right. So I also want to point something out to the people that are complaining about ads on YouTube. Okay, you're not paying for YouTube. There's ads all over Ashley Banfield every 5 minutes. There's more ads because it pays for the channel. Ads on YouTube pay for our channels. When you're getting a lot of super chats, you don't really care so much about ads. But when you're not getting super chats, something has to pay for all the gear and everything else. So we run ads. That's why YouTube has ads. So I'm sorry, but every single place you look at has ads. So there's that. If you don't want ads, buy YouTube Premium. Then you won't get any ads. Just saying. They know a lot there at crime scene. Oh, I agree with you. I think what's his name's doing a fantastic job. Anton is doing a really good job. I just think Ashley's a little behind. I do. I just think she's quite a ways behind. And I think she's reaching for stuff. I don't know why, but or you can join YouTube Premium. That's what I said. You pay for premium, you get no ads. I was watching a movie earlier, and somebody said if you fast forward all the way to the end and then rewind, it takes away the ads, but it doesn't. I was like, that's a lie. So I tried it, and yeah, it's kind of like someone says, if you stand on your head and spit wooden nickels, you'd be rich. So you try it anyway. Yeah, it doesn't work. I think she is reaching, honestly. So before I get off tonight, though, I do want to see Lex. I've heard about it. To me, I don't trust CM. He probably hired his wife to go rent a Hyundai. But one thing I want to tell you is that understand CM is no better than Betty Butthead. She's not. And I know you like Betty and stuff, but she's horrible. That's exactly what is happening. CM will do anything to run with a story. Any kind of sensationalism, he's going to run with. He does. As horrible as it is. I don't have my phone with me, so whoever's hitting me up, I can't look at the moment. I agree with you, but I do want to see what he's talking about because remember, we just watched Brian Enton say that there's a whole neighborhood behind it. And his whole neighborhood, you see tons of white cars. I can't even imagine how many people have white cars in the area. Probably a ton white cars in the area. Oh, that's perfect. Oh. Sorry. It's about candles. I live in the city all my life, and there's so many. That's what I'm saying. I mean, even Brian Enton just showed you that there are a ton of white cars. So I'm thinking, and this is just a guess, I'm thinking that one of these cars, and I'm just using logic here, I could be way off, but I think one of these cars, one of these houses have a ring bell camera and saw a white car driving by around the same time. That's what I think. The frat president used the term before Ethan came up because they see being in a sorority as being above non-brothers and sisters. If others are below them, they're dark. Huh? Chief lives next door to the murdered college students, possibly murdered. I don't think the chief murdered them, Bootsy. Call it a hunch, but I don't think so. I could run with it and probably get 1,000 people in here, but no. Yeah, they definitely have the car on video. I'm thinking that all right. I'm thinking that that's why Brian Enton and Ashley all of a sudden are going that route and are talking about that route because they may have gotten inside information that we already know, but some kind of information that that's where the white car was driving. Because I personally think that Brian Enton is very good at talking to people, and I can see him getting information out of someone. I really can. I can totally see Brian Enton getting information. The glove turns out to be evidence useful. Yeah, but it's not going to, Laura Lee. I think the gas station video is a hatchback. It's hard to tell. 22,000 mile launch in town. No, not. They've expanded though. It's 22,000 white registered Elantras within 3 states. Hey, Joseph. Oh, you're way out of the loop. Hold on. Let me pull up McDouchebag. The glove was on top of snow. Yeah, the glove was dropped by somebody who dropped the glove. Probably pulled it out of his pocket and dropped the glove. Not 2 weeks later. Horrible people. What am I looking for? Chris McDouchebag. I swear to you guys, I just typed in Chris McDouche. No, it took a couple of days. Is it the has the suspect returned that video? Does anyone have a timestamp? I can't listen to him. This must be it. Okay. I don't want anyone to feel dumb. So I'm not trying to make anyone feel dumb here. But if this is the scene he's talking about, there's a cop right there. There's a lot of cops all around this area. You're going to tell me a white Elantra just happened to drive by and Chris is the only one that saw it. All right. I'm going to reserve my comments till after we see this. So let's check it out.
I saw that last night. You can see it now clearly through the trees. Okay. And I'm going to pull it up a little closer. I'll back it up just for a second. All right. You'll see it just coming in
on
right
going
there. Everybody see that through the trees? Okay. That is a white car. the day after the homicide. Now, here's the question that I had. I asked Nancy's team, can your, experts, which that's what they are, can they, kind of magnify this? I don't have that ability to do that personally. I'm working during the day. I saw it last night. I told the crew, and Nancy mentioned it this morning. But I don't know, with keeping in mind.
Now, in all fairness, let me say, in all fairness, that's a really good eye, because I would have never even been looking that way. I would have never even saw that. That's a really good eye. However, you can't tell if that's white. That could be white, that could be gray, that could be a million different brands. But on the flip side, it's up here. It is possible that the killer would come back to see what's going on in the area. That is possible. We can't rule that out. That happens all the time. So I'm not going to rule that out. I mean, that's a really fucking good eye. Whoever caught that. You can't get plate. Yeah, but you couldn't get plates off the other one. You can't really tell what kind of car it is either. But I'm just saying, though, that, if you killed, you would come back and look at it. You might come back and take a look and see what's going on. Or that could be some 75-year-old man who lives in the neighborhood, who's just driving by.
Find that eyewitness testimony sometimes is really interesting. And Nancy mentioned it this morning. They are. Can they, kind of magnify this? I don't have that ability to do that personally. I'm working during the day. I saw it last night. I told the crew, and Nancy mentioned it this morning. But I don't know, with keeping in mind that eyewitness testimony sometimes is really interesting. It is definitely a white car. It is definitely a sedan. I don't know, like you, if the witness had it correct. However, in the interview with Lauren, the neighbor brings up an Elantra. So, two thoughts come to my mind. Did the Elantra originate? You can see it there. Let me see if I can make this bigger. There it is. You can see it up here. And it looks like a four-door. Can't tell for sure. And okay, I don't know if can you guys see my pointer? I don't think you can see.
I hate to admit this. I fucking hate to admit this, but he may not be wrong. It's a logical theory that if this was the day after, which it has to be from the headline of the news, the day after, it would not surprise me that this car is roaming around trying to see what's going on, if that is the cop. No, I mean the killer. I'm saying it's possible, no way. I thought it was gonna be like someone driving by and like all of a sudden this white Elantra was gonna drive right behind the news reporter. That's what I thought. But being that it's so far away, granted, there's a million white cars, but I'm saying that I can't rule it out. I can't rule out that that could be a killer coming back to see what's going on. You can't rule it out. You can't say it is, but you can't rule it out either.
See my pointer. I'm sorry, Lori. I don't have my glasses on either, but.
And Jen, he's got 121,000 subscribers. Make that make sense. What channel was? I never said. I think I found him. T-Rev. Oh, T-Rev is Creek Squad. Oh, he has a car zoom, does he? T-Rev isn't Dylan the map guy? No, T-Rev's not Dylan. Dylan's the map guy. He won't come back again. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this was the day after because not Chris didn't make this video the day after, but this original news report is the day after because it says University of Idaho students found dead, now identified by police. So this had to be the next day. Hey, Keister, this had to be the next day. But that is really interesting. I will say that. That is really interesting. And it's possible. When did Chris make the video? Or when did the original video? It had to be day one. But whoever caught that, that's a pretty good eye. Maybe that's why I'm not an investigator.
But can you guys see that now up in the upper left-hand corner? Or excuse me, right-hand corner? That is a white vehicle passing as this reporter was reporting. So let me go back into the story. Now this was
do you have a timestamp of when T-Rev makes it bigger? I didn't know T-Rev was Creek Squad. Creek Squad. Yeah, no, Chris made the video recently. Point out good stuff on Grub Truck too. I thought it was him. Thanks for yeah, no, T-Rev is totally different. Chris's video is recent, not the original. I'm just saying I can't rule this out as being, Chris planted it or anything. I can't rule this out. And what kind of car was it? I don't know. What's Rev Gang? I do not. I was trying to write this complaint. Keister, you were in there earlier today, right? Do you know the timestamp? Or, I mean, he had a 12-hour live. Do you know around what time? I think I saw you in there earlier. Yeah, you said T-Rev blew it out. I mean, I could blow it out if I was on OBS. But Chris, with all his big shots, he should be able to ask someone to do it. T-Rev, Rev Gang, yep. They can still pull videos from that day and time. Creek Squad friendly candles. I like that, Crystal. Yeah, if someone could get me a timestamp of T-Rev, that would be awesome. Is T-Rev friends with Kurt? I remember seeing T-Rev. I don't know. Guys get way more respect around here than girls. I'll tell you that much. If you in the scene every single day because they're around the area. And Amanda, that's what I'm thinking. Hey, Carolyn. 11:05. Thank you, Tommy. Hold on. Make a Chris McDouche channel. I'm McDouche. All right. This could be the White Elantra. That was 2 days ago live. What are you barking at? I mean, what are you snoring at? See, this is what I mean. He went from like 1,000, 2,000 views to now he's getting 20,000 views and 20 and 30,000 views. What am I doing wrong here? For real. All right. You said 11:05. No, that we were on 11:05 before. A different car. Car's been on T-Rose Plant. Okay, that's where I know him from then. No, it wasn't 11:05. That's a different shot. Hold on, I'm scrolling through seeing if I can get anything. All right, was it before the grub truck or after? So I see his stuff about the grub truck. Yeah, this is his case. This case blew him up. Police. I'm just skimming through his whole life. Here it is. I found it. Oh, it's tough to tell. All right. No, I'm at 4:15:15 is where it is. All right. It's not the quantity of the views, the quality. That's right, active shooter. Yeah, it's been blurred out, Lex.
Which means, they started dating, as, teenagers, 16 years old, something like that. Kaylee had to be. So, probably she grew out of this dude. She's getting older, and now she's not interested in the boyfriend. Now looking for, husband type material, and he wasn't it. Clearly see the dad and the siblings kind of don't feel that way. Maybe they don't want to come out and say it, but you could see it in that dad's face sometimes. That he's not buying it. I don't think. And you got to think too. This guy, she's leaving. She's leaving. This is his last chance. He's the only person that could have known that she room himself. He's best friends with Jack S too, and Jack S told the one guy in that food truck video, he's like,
by the way, that's not him speaking. Somebody must have called in because his lips aren't moving. So that's not him speaking.
Yeah, I'm just here to watch over the girls or something like that.
Right.
So Jack D could have asked Jack S, hey man, watch these girls. Make
that's a neighbor. Isn't that the neighbor dude?
sure, it could have been more of reporting back to him where what they're doing. Just watching for stalkers. Because he could have been, because you could see Jack S too is like playing with his phone. He could be telling Jack D, hey, the girls are leaving. So that way Jack knows that they're on their way home. He's already set up in the house. To me, it's very suspect,
Nah, I mean, I'm hearing you out, brother. So you're leaning on Jack D.
Oh, for sure. It's my opinion,
No, absolutely. I mean, allegedly.
He's got the motive. He has all the motive there, and he could have easily got out of that house, ran up that tree line, jumped on his roof, been back in his house in like 10 seconds, And I don't think the white car really. I think it's
So what do you think about the cause, though?
the 6 calls from Kaylee's phone, the 3 calls from Maddie's phone. What do you think about that?
I think he could have been calling his phone from their phone.
Yeah, but wouldn't it?
That's where I know T-Rev from. I was on panel with him during Kaylee on Kurt's panel. That's where I know him from. I knew him from somewhere. That's it. Kurt's panel.
Wouldn't his DNA be on those phones?
Well, we don't know that it's not. Or if
No.
he had
I'm
gloves
not saying we know it's not, but I'm saying in general, his DNA would be on those phones, or at least you would think so, right?
Well, unless if he has gloves on, which I'm sure he did, maybe not. Unless maybe some hair fell on it or something. But we'll find out when the cops tell us what they got.
No, I feel that.
Because his phone was turned off. Which is kind of suspect too. Because most kids, they don't turn their phones off at night. So you only turn your phone off if you don't want it to be pinging somewhere or whatever it is. But I don't know.
I'm with you. I don't believe Jack is involved either. But I got news for you guys. This car could be legit. I mean, you can't really tell what kind of car it is, but it could be a 4-door Elantra. It's definitely white. And it would make sense for them to come back and take a look at it. And here's the other thing. Is it possible that that's where the cops got this Hyundai from, is looking at maybe footage, like watching back, seeing if they see anything? Because they're like trained to look for stuff like this. We're not. So I don't know if McDonough found it or somebody else found it, but it does make sense. I mean, if you look and honestly, it does make sense that the killer's coming back to look and see what's going on. I would set who's straight, Scooby.
He could have been calling himself, or maybe, he could have he could have been telling Kaylee all kinds of stuff. If he's like the jilted boyfriend, he's trying to get back with her. He could have been saying, "Oh, if you leave, I'm going to kill myself," or making up some
5-state troop.
See, I don't have tolerance for people like that. I just don't, because she called him 7 fucking times the night she died. So, and he never answered. So someone that is that obsessed with her would have answered the phone. He never even answered the phone. So no, I don't think it was him. Maybe no way. If they were smart, they'd put cameras in.
Flag.
Call from Renee.
Hey, Renee, you're live. What's up?
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. So I just went over there. That was his opportunity. I feel like she was just moving on.
They do. The odds of them having surveillance are very, very slim.
What would be the direction they're heading in?
Yeah, that direction. There's nothing there. Mountain. But Van Hager.
Yeah.
Quick refresh on your browser of you got Google Earth on.
I don't think there's much more. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine to blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. I don't think there's anything else. I thought it was like a true close-up, but I see why someone thought he was Dylan, the guy. I could see why people think he's Dylan. Timeless calls were too early for the killer to make them. Dancing, woohoo. I wonder if she did any texting. No, Janice, what I want to know, did he wake up and call her? That's what I want to know. You saw there were 7 missed calls. Did you actually pick up the phone and call her back? Or did you just let it go? That's what I've wondered. Since I heard that, I was like, did he wake up and call her or not? Because most people, you got 7 missed calls, you kind of, like, what the fuck? Well, she texted him. I mean, they called him like 5 times. But I'm very curious about that. Now, this car, I apologize, Chris McDouche. I do apologize. I thought maybe you set something up, but now that I watch the actual footage, I can see it. Damn, I'm apologizing a lot tonight. This is not good. This is bad. I hate apologizing 3 times in one night. Maybe Jack has a new girl and did not want to phone back. It could be. Yeah, T-Rev did a 12-hour live. Maybe Jack D has a new girl and did not. No, I don't think it's that. Because the text even said, from what I understand, the text even said, oh, well, you didn't someone say she the text or something? No. Yeah, that she allegedly had a text or something that said, how could you not answer your phone? We share a dog or something like that. CM knows people talk about him on other shows. He even talked about it on his show. He says he doesn't have dentures. Then the roommates call Ethan's brother, sister, and Jack to come over. I don't know. Could Kaylee have gotten pregnant and he did this? I highly doubt it. I'll admit when I'm wrong, but 3 times in one night? Ouch. Before I forget, I also want to thank, we did get a couple of things from Amazon. I want to thank you guys for that. After the big debacle, I can't even check anything to see what's been bought and what hasn't been bought because everything is still locked on my end. It still shows that everything's been bought when it hasn't. Because if I have somebody else go look at it, so if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, one of these assholes, one of my haters, locked down my kid's Amazon account, and not locked down the account, but pretended like they bought everything on it and nothing was bought. And it was pretty fucked up to do to a kid who lost his dad this year. Because we can't get anything by Christmas now. A lot of it we can't get by Christmas. So what are you telling me? Stop, Laura Lee. It's true. I ordered like $400 worth of stuff from it the other day, and I'll hopefully have it by the 23rd. But other people told me they ordered today and they're not getting it by the Christmas. No, seriously, Amanda. I couldn't even believe they did it. Not to my kids. Like, most of the list is for my kids, not for me. I did add a couple things this year because that list is for everybody. That list wasn't a YouTube list. Oh, you didn't hear about this debacle, Joseph? Yeah. The other day, a girl named Kayla, and Amazon wasn't even supposed to tell me the name, but they did. I couldn't get a last name yet, but I said, well, it has to be connected to an account. They locked everything. They put every single item in. I was crying because I knew they weren't going to be able to get stuff for Christmas. Like, it's bad enough that, just getting it at all, but they locked it down, and Amazon for some reason takes a week to get here. So if you didn't order it that night, we weren't getting it by Christmas. And people that ordered today and a couple of other days, yesterday, I think, we're not getting it by Christmas. And it's fucked up that they did that. Now, my kids understand, they still have stuff that they're opening, and Dayton's just happy he got all his computer, but they're still kids, and even though they're older and they understand this stuff, you just don't fucking do that. It's not like I have some dumb list that I want, spray cleaner or something. These are my kids' Christmas list. And this was a list for all of us. Like, Dayton wants to buy Sage something. My mom, where's the kids' list? It was one big list. And it's just fucked up. Oh, I know, right, Laura Lee? It's just fucked up that somebody did that. I mean, my son lost his dad this year. Like, Christmas is Christmas, and it's hard enough for him, and now he's gotta open up less gifts, and it's not even a matter of money. Like, that was everybody's list. That was a list for everybody to go off of. You know, that was a list like, "Okay, what are we getting mom? Well, mom has this, this, and this. What do you guys want to split?" You know, it was everything. And I said that from the beginning, that the list was for everybody. It wasn't just for, you know, my personal items. Most of it was for them. It's just fucked up. I mean, Phoenix is easy because he just wants gift cards, but it's just so wrong. So yeah, that was a big debacle the other day. I was like, I would never do that to somebody ever. Oh, Amanda, you should. Like last year, it didn't matter. That's what I'm saying, Mickey. It does. And Phoenix really hasn't asked a lot. He really just wants gift cards and his stupid stuff for his 3D printer. I was notified. Oh, you got that? Thank you. Yeah, you're not putting little notes in it, so I don't know who's sending stuff. So now that I know, thank you, K-Rox. Well, they told me that it was a girl named Kayla with a C. I did go live. It's on members only. Kayla with a C, or Kayla with a C, and that's all they could tell me. And then the second girl told me that, well, we already gave you more information than we should have. Amanda, and that's the thing, you know, of course you understand, but this year it's tough. This year wasn't the year to do this. You know what I mean? And it was just fucked up. Like, I just don't know why anyone would do something like that to kids. You know, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, buy your own." I do buy my kids their own gifts. I would never do QVC ever. Do my PayPal Pay in 4, which hits me every day, which I swore I was never doing again. But it wasn't even a matter of that. It was just a matter of they don't have it to open. You know, like I said, Phoenix is easy because he just wants gift cards. I mean, it's literally, I bought him like 5 different gift cards with, you know, different stuff. You know, like one's a teddy bear, one's a bear, one's a dog, just to get a little creative. That's what I'm saying, Joseph. It's not even a matter, like, we can't even order stuff off of it now that'll get here on time. Stuff that, like, I knew that they really, really wanted. You know? I mean, some stuff they really wanted, I ordered already. But it's just fucked up. You just don't do that to kids. Like, what did my kids ever do to anybody? Nothing. You know, and then I've seen people with wish lists that, you know, haven't ever built a community. I built my community. Like, I'm not some new subscriber that, you know, I'm not telling Tyler, "Hey, drop my wish list." You know, it's from my community, my people. And I built this community. Like, I've been here a long time. I'm not, you know, some newbie who's off, you know, riding someone else's back. Like, I've seen other creators, I mean, other channel holders do. "Oh, here's my wish list. I've been on YouTube for a month, but I need a wish list." Like, give me a fucking break. Nobody else has a Laura purple community. But you know what I'm saying? No, it is dead wrong. It was just fucked up. I don't know why anyone would do that, but I'm so horrible. I'm this, I'm that. I would never do that to somebody. I wouldn't even think to do that to somebody. It's a bullshit hate move. Exactly. Murillo OG around here. Gang, gang, bitches. But seriously, though, I put blood, sweat, and tears into this channel right now. I mean, channels go through highs and lows. Right now, I happen to be on a low. I'm slowly inching back up. But I mean, it happens. Channels, people stop watching for a while. Then, you pick up again. It is what it is. And it pisses me off that people would do that. But people also act like, oh my God, Laura lost so many. I've lost like 30. I'm just not growing. Like, I have a theory though, and I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure my theory is correct, but I have to figure it out. But I just need to get in the algorithm. I'll go on troll names and try to find me. I can't find me. I don't come up anywhere. YouTube hates me. You hear Dayton screaming? Okay. But I am going to get off because I still have candles to make because I am totally running out of time. And I have orders to make and I have mod candles to make. And I got to ship them out overseas because I'm going to be late. So, yeah, I'll be up half the night making candles, but that's okay. I heard great things from someone you know and been subscribed to you for a while. Thank you, Mickey. I think your name is hard for people to find. No, I think it's because how much cashmere I have a bunch of different cashmere. I think it's because so many new people is so much hate. I'm so glad, Tommy. I was going to ask you how are the candles? Because all the new people hear my name of hate all over the place. They hear it from JT's people. They hear it from SG's people. They hear it from MM's. It's like all over the place. And I don't even do anything. It's crazy. Probably not if you did a 12-hour live today. Yeah, I did. Start the third channel. I probably make more money you've ever made before. Dive into a new realm. But I like true crime. I'm good at it. I just don't think like other people. And honestly, to be honest with you, I can't get into the conspiracies. I just can't. I just won't ever get into it. Now you can't see anything on your list or address or anything. No. You can. You should be able to. I don't think everyone bought up my whole list. How much stock do you have in the cashmere? I have a vanilla cashmere. I can make probably about 8 candles, cashmere. But if you don't need it by Christmas, I mean, I could order more. Book is having a nightmare. You should do more polls, get feedback. I could. I always forget. You hear Buka? Buka, what's the matter? Hey, wake up. It's okay. Afraid he's gonna bite me. You want the whole lot? Do you need it by Christmas? If you need it by Christmas, it's a little rough. But if you need it be right after Christmas, I could do it. If it's under show more, I don't see anything. No, the Amazon list, it's not on my thing. Reddit dropped it before. Most do conspiracies, it brings the views. Absolutely. Some of the biggest supporters that I see on all these other channels are like some of the worst. I've seen them support some of the worst people I've ever seen. Tommy, I'm so glad you like them, though. I love hearing good feedback. Do you want me to forward those emails? What emails? Which emails? Yeah, 75% of YouTube is cray cray. There's a new terms of service in the new year. You can't make your channel talking about the same person consistently. Yeah, and what are they going to do about it? They're going to do nothing. 1-1. What kind of candles do I make? I make organic, eco-friendly, sustainable, hemp, coconut, soy wax candles. I know it's a big mouthful. Mickey, I have to send you cards. I keep forgetting. Can I get a bulk price on 8? Contact me privately because there's more to it. Do you want sizes? Do you want colors? Like, you got to tell me. But email me at Laura at energycnc.com. Those are putting like smog boards. You can't drop your PayPal and Cash App. See, I don't understand that, Laura Lee. How are they going to do that? Can you make any without hemp? Hemp doesn't work for my job. Well, I have virgin coconut soy wax that doesn't have hemp, but you're not going to eat the wax, so the hemp really doesn't matter. But yes, I can use virgin coconut soy wax. Right now, my favorite is gingerbread. It smells amazing. I like ice, cinnamon, and vanilla. Another one of my favorites. Mulberry is a favorite. Strawberry rhubarb is a favorite. I got a lot of favorites. Have you heard of the brain chips? No. Yes, I make gingerbread candles, and oh my God, it smells so good. I did not think the gingerbread was going to smell so good. Oh my God. They smell amazing. That's why it's like, I knew when someone asked me my favorite scent, it was that. It just smells awesome. All right, 1-1. I don't know if I could do 10 by Christmas, but you get them right around Christmas. But yeah, I'm telling you, it smells amazing. One of the best gingerbreads I've ever smelled. I was like, oh, I wonder how this is going to smell in a candle. And then once I made them, oh, cinnamon, vanilla, not a... Do you like the ice one better? I personally like the ice one better. Cinnamon, not overpowering, but throughout the house. Yep. I make a quality candle. Sometimes I get the wicks wrong because I use mica, which is why I'm testing new wicks, because I can't use mica anymore because it screws up my wicks. So now I got to test. Thank you, Stoned. No rush. More about supporting you big in one transaction. That works. Yeah, if you don't want it by Christmas, I'm fine. Because then we could go through different cashmeres, and if I had to order one, if you want something specific. Yeah, sometimes I get the wicks wrong. And that's a problem with mica. You just never know if it's going to work. So we're Xing out the mica, only using a tiny, tiny bit. And then the wicks are much more consistent. And they're a lot smaller, so it's working out better. So, but speaking of, yeah, if you want to email me about candles, whoops. This is strictly for order. That email is strictly for orders. And then a regular email. There you go. Cinnamon vanilla. Yes. Ice cinnamon vanilla. It smells amazing. It smells the whole little apartment. Woohoo! All right, I'm out though. I got about 30 candles I got to make and ship and get out. And I'm going to post all the pictures as soon as I'm done with all the Christmas stuff. Then you're going to see me post for like a full day because I have so many candles to post. I just have not done it yet. Mods, your candles are going out no later than Monday. So hopefully you'll get them by Christmas, but possibly not. I know overseas mods, you're definitely not going to get it by Christmas, and that's my fault. I apologize. I just got here, but I love it. Oh, I have tons of patchouli. I just ordered more of the poppy and patchouli, poppy petals and patchouli. I had tons of patchouli. And I have a ton of scents that I don't even have listed on the website yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And I'm also going to have big New Year's specials, lots of New Year's specials. Which are coming up. Like I said, I got to get done with Christmas. Monica, I'm so glad you popped up. Someone just said they like patchouli. I was going to say, oh, Monica was here. She'll tell you all about patchouli. I sent an email about it when you get it. I will, Mickey. All right. I got to go make some candles, though. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Anything big comes up, anything pops, let me know. And yes, happy birthday to Crystal. Crystal, I hope you have a beautiful birthday. And you spend it with me. Any specials right now? Yeah, I think I still have. I think I got a special going on. I have to look. Hold on. Discounts. Yeah, the member 10. That one's still active. Members get 10% off by using member 10. Patreons, you get 20% off. Free shipping for over $99. Free cutter for $99. Hey, Joy. Oh, I don't know why you're not finding them. I have them listed. Other people are ordering them. Yes, you want cinnamon and clove rollerball. I don't know why you're not finding it. I'll email you, Joy. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Peace. And thank you guys, Super Chat, PayPal, Cash App, and everything else. And Crystal's birthday. Bye. Cashier missed. All right. Peace out.